Charlotte Motor Speedway. They're lean, they're mean, they're 5 to 7 horses, a man and machine. They're 4 wide before they start to slip and slide. The Coast to Coast Racing League 358 Modifieds, Pro Late Models, and the 360 Sprint Cars.
We are live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. I'm Zach Chapman here with Shaggy TV, and well, you're going to get a little mixture this season. The main man, Marty Sakala, he is getting his computer. Well, actually, he's building a new PC, so he'll be back better than ever here in a couple weeks, we hope. But until then, I'll be your standing guy on Monday. You know, you normally see me on Wednesdays and Thursdays. Won't see me on Thursdays as much this season. I'm doing a golf league, so I told him I'd do the pro late models, but there's sometimes even where that's going to be pretty close. But I'm the sponsor of it, so I think I can decide whether or not it goes up maybe a little later or not. I can buck him that day. But, man, we're here because of none other than Full Throttle Motorsports and the Venom Racing team again coming together to put on this 358 showdown here, part of Flatline Racing Body's Monday Night Madness. We've got 3 races for those of you who are new here coming. We've got the 358s. This is well, everything's open setups here tonight, actually. Make it a little easier on myself. 358 modifieds. Then we go to the sprint cars, 360 sprint cars. So we have a Rebels division, which would be my class of drivers. You know, we can get around, we know what we're doing, but maybe we need to work on ourselves a little bit, prove ourselves. And That's going to be what comes up next. And then following that, the top 5 from the Rebels race can advance to the Renegades race. So we'll see our Renegades drivers. I believe we have... Man, this is probably overshooting here, but I think we had close to 30 names here. Patrick or somebody could chime in on the broadcast if they'd like to and let us know the real number. But there's a good bit of drivers, so if everybody shows up here tonight, which I expect a good bit to, it being week 1, could have a lot of cars here. And right now you see 23 times will be ticking across your screen. But there are 2 more drivers in the session, Patrick Spangler and Brandon Dittmer, who have yet to put in a time. So people definitely showing up here. Let's see if, can we get a view even of this man? Let's see. That right there is our defending champion here. We'll have to see what Samuel Bachman can do rolling into week 1. Can he defend his title on a big note? And you know, if you guys go back and listen to this, or if you're listening to it now, Scott, you sent me the message, you know, you like those in-race interviews. Shame on you guys. Getting coast to coast, hide in this Discord, get them to lock it out. I think they can even do that, or I don't know, maybe I can even do it for you. I don't know what kind of authority I have, but if you guys come up into the coast to coast Discord, anybody in this room, man, I can have some fun with you after heat races, during grid times, stuff like that. I'd never pull you in after an accident or during your green flag run. That's pretty uncalled for. I'm not that type of guy, because I can tell you, before I get a chance to look at a replay, when I'm in the race car, it is never my fault until I get out and look at that replay. And then definitely probably half the time, at least, it came down to a bonehead move from me. So I'd never put anybody in a bad spot like that and make you worry about damaging yourself. But we got the 814 of Brad Waite rolling around here. Not many guys in this practice session out on the racetrack. Let's go back over to that other one here. Well, now it's calmed down over here as well. We do have Ryland Banks out on the racetrack. Harold Klump, well, he's pulling off the racetrack. So just down to Ryland as well. The clock's ticking down here. That's got to be a big part of it. We got Dino here in the 79 once this decides to load up. There is that Barney Mobile. Dean Reynolds in the Purple People Eater tonight. Dean's got to be, somebody on the watch list here tonight. Really anybody on that FTM race team, but qualifying is going to tell the tale here. We have 25 drivers in the session. We'll see how many we get to come out on the racetrack here for qualifying. But I would like to, just before we get this thing going, who knows if he's out there watching, but, our, basically, man, the godfather of this thing, Roger Craig, he had to step away. Just going through a lot right now. Well, Roger, man, we're thinking about you, and we appreciate you for giving us this playground. And we all would have never met each other if not for you. So, Roger, appreciate all that you've done for, well, not just us, but the iRacing community as we watch Brandon Templeton roll around through 3 and 4. Brandon crosses the stripe. He will be P1 right off the bat here in 19.5. But the Barber comes around and he trims a little time off. Matt Barber, the Canadian, to the top of the charts. It's not going to stick very long, though. Dean Reynolds in the 79. He said it's time. I told you, keep an eye on that man. And Dean Reynolds, currently P1 as he comes around for his second and final lap. Can Dino improve? The answer is no. But so far, he doesn't need to. Let's go find our defending champion here. We got guys going out a little later than normal. And qualifying, they didn't get a lot of time here in this qualifying session. So right now we're seeing Sam Bachman. He completed lap number 1, comes home P6. Oh, but the Brewer, he takes the pole. Mike Brewer currently quick time. Let's follow Sam Bachman because he's purple. You know what that means. Welcome to the pole. Defending champion Sam Bachman qualifies on the pole. Night number 1 here. Welcome back, champ. Kelly Wheeler is out on the racetrack too, and the time's not going to count. Jumped in a little late, but I can tell you we do have all 25 drivers set to play here tonight at the Knoxville Raceway. Let's take a look at the starting grid for heat race number 1. Rounding out the field in the 110, starting P7 is Kelly Wheeler, row 3 to the outside. The 7 of Bob DeGood to the inside, the 76 of Ryland Banks. Row 2 to the top shelf, the 007, defending champion and quick time here this evening, Sam Bachman. Into the inside, the 518 of 100 grand, Joseph Grandy. Row 1 for heat race number 1 to the outside, the 16 of the Barber, Matt Barber. To the inside, the 883 of Bud Molyneux. This Bud, he'd love to take advantage of this good track position here. It's not very often he gets lucky enough to hit that invert and start P1, so Bud knows he's got to take advantage of it whenever you can. And, well, we're going to go around one more time here. Normally they trim it a little shorter, but we're going to go around one more time. And they probably noticed that's because I was trying to tell you how much time they had left in the heat race, not how many laps. Shame on me. I get it, guys. I get it. We figured it out. Well, next time, if they want to, they can trim it a little shorter. But it does give us some time to look at some of these new race cars. Bob DeGood, that's a new number 7. So we'll see him roll by in that yellow and red machine. The champ back in the same ride. Roll through 3 and 4 for the final time. The Steve King Foundation pace truck dives off. The green flags high. It's ready to fly. We've got 8 laps to play in the clay at the Knoxville Raceway. Heat race 1 is underway. Oh, Joseph Grandy trying to sneak a peek down there in the bottom. It was almost 3 wide as the champ tried to go low on the Barber. But Matt able to hold firm, gets a run going down the backstretch. Now he battles for the lead. Bud Molyneux's got enough. He's got it at the line. Whoa, there we go. The Barber tried to cut it a little too close there, jumped the cushion. And now he gives up that outside positioning. And Sam Bachman, the Samaconda, cuts his way to the bottom, trying to slither his way into a heat race win. If he gets quick time and a win here in heat race number 1, boy, would that tell the tale. Oh, it would be hard to run down this 007. There's plenty of time to go. And Bud, he's got to make that 883 wide here as we cross the stripe. 5 laps to play. The 007 slide job. Bud Molyneux not able to cut underneath. He's going to hold on to P2 for now. But Sam, he drops the sails and he's ready to sail away. How far can he get away? Because you got to know, I mean, you got to realize he's got the quickest car on the racetrack right now. Other than maybe the 518. He might have been playing a little games trying to get that invert. If Joseph can work his way on around here within a lap or 2, there might be enough time to go at Sam Bachman. That's why he needs to go, and I think Sam understood that last time by. 19:31, quickest lap of the race for the 007. Joseph Grandy to the bottom here in 3. He's going to try to complete the pass. Doesn't slide up. Likes all that tack still left on the bottom, and he's got enough to get it done. The Barber trying to trim his way on through. He moves on up to P3, and Bud Molyneux started on the pole, falling back to P4. Ryland Banks and Bob DeGood, they've been having a pretty good battle in their hands. Bob trying to find a way under. This is the 7 diamonds off of 3, but the white flag's in the air. Final time around. Sam Bachman flying down the backstretch. He's got almost a 3/4 of a second lead here as he drives through 3 and 4. Checkered flag waves, and Sam Bachman gets the pole, wins heat race number 1, and he's going to start on the pole for tonight's feature. Joseph Grandy, Matt Barber, Bud Molyneux advance. Kelly Wheeler, Ryland Banks, Bob DeGood to the B main. So we take a look here at our starting grid, heat race number 2. So we're going to have 4 heat races. That's something that just clicked with me. They'll probably change that in the settings. Last season, they were trying to run around 9 to 10 cars per heat. So I would imagine as we progress through the season, we'll see the number change. But who knows? Row 3 to the outside, the 814 of Brad Wade to the inside, the 21 of Blackjack, John Tobias. Row 2 to the outside, the 390 of Mike Brewer to the inside, the 122 of Brian Dickens. Row 1 for heat race number 2 to the outside, the 213 of Michael Vitale to the inside, the 513 of the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker. So we'll see here, Steve King Foundation Pace Truck stays on, needs a little bit of track time here tonight. So we'll go around one more time here at the Knoxville Raceway, and well, it gives me a chance to, sorry if you're going to hear it in the background for possibly a second, but I'm here tonight. Yeah, you're going to hear me talking. This is really embarrassing. Now I got to mute the sound, but I forgot to have the Coast to Coast stream up on the one side, and if anybody chats to me, well, it doesn't pop up on my end, but I see Justin Welch. He is on my end. He's rooting for Mike Brewer. He's part of the Brew Crew. And as the green flag's high, it's ready to fly. There's 8 laps to play, and the Knoxville Raceway heat race number 2 is underway. Good jump there for the 213 of Michael Vitale, taking advantage of that high side. And Mike Brewer, he's popping the top off that thing. He rolls the high side, 4th to 2nd in the opening lap. Good run so far for the 390 of Mike Brewer. Brian Dickens taking a peek on the inside. He's trying to work that 122 under the 513 of the Brewerton Beast. Brian Dickens won a couple times last season. No stranger to victory lane, and if he could win heat race number 2, that would be a good stepping stone towards another checkered flag, but he's got a couple dogs in front of him. And the one dog is starting to bark at the 213. Mike Brewer is creeping in here. Gonna try to look for a run through the center of 3 and 4. Drove in a little high, tries to arc underneath. He's got the fender. He throws it in. Michael Vitale not going to give him any room. Brewer slides up a teeny bit. There's no contact made, but it's enough that Vitale could pinch off Brewer and hold him back here as we're coming out of 4. This time we're going to see the cross flags. Halfway, little contact for the lead. Oh, you got to use them up here. The 39 of Mike Brewer gets into the side of the 213 of Michael Vitale, and that allows Brian Dickens, who's gotten around Jeff Barker, to slowly reel these front 2 in, and he loves seeing these guys battle hard. Let's go on the nose. Mike Brewer trying to take a peek underneath, but no steam coming off the corner. He's got to fall back in line. And now Brian Dickens, he's going to take a little peek. Almost 3 wide in the center of the corner. 2 laps to go at the Knoxville Raceway. Mike running out of options here, and most of all, he's running out of time. Only got a lap and a half. What does he do here? He sends it into the basement. 3 and 4. Can he make it work? White flag in the air. Give it to Mike Brewer at the line. Slide job. Michael Vitale cuts underneath there. Side by side coming off of 2. Oh, Michael Vitale going to try to send it in, but the Brewer man, He's stepping on the throttle. He's still upstairs. Checkered flag. Wait. Get it to the 390 of Mike Brewer. He steals heat race number 2. Michael Vitale, Brian Dickens, and Jeff Barker to the A main. Blackjack and Brad Waite to the B main. We take a look here at our starting grid for heat race number 3. Row 3 to the outside, the high side banger. Patrick Spangler lined up on the inside, the 051 a putt-putt, Clay Christopherson. Row 2 to the outside, the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano. Lining up on the inside, the 639 of Dylan Kinsey. Row 1 to the outside, the 011 of Randall Dixon. And starting on the pole for heat race number 3, the 56 of Randy Shreves. Whew, my apologies there. I got the hiccups. Had to gargle some water. That's why I had to mute myself there for a second. And this will be the time here when I'm still gathering myself together that they'll probably shorten up that pace lap. Who knows here? We'll keep an eye on that pace truck. We'll see what happens. Not pulling off yet, so looking like we're going to go around one more time here. Oh, Patrick Spangler. He's in a new ride. This is the first time we've seen this on the racetrack. Let's check it out. Yeah, look at that thing. Even got Spangler up above the number. He knows what he's missing on there, and, you know, I don't need to shame him for it. But he's missing something on there, and, you know, maybe you guys can connect the dots. Maybe you can't. But watch that Steve King Foundation pace truck pull off here, and we're going to watch him drive off of 4 for the final time as the green flag's high. It's ready to fly. The 56 drops the hammer, and there's 8 laps to play. Randall Dixon with that taking that advantage we saw in the last heat race that the top shelf had and just going right on by. Anthony Morano doing it even quicker than Brewer did it. Now, it may have been a little easier, who knows, but Anthony Morano ready to pounce here. He's taking a peek down low. We got a battle for the lead here, lap number 2. Anthony Morano, what can he do? The war is on behind as well. Patrick Spangler trying to work his way on up. Started 6th. He's got it into the 4th and final transfer spot, but he's got 2 FTF teammates battling side by side underneath. Oh, Dylan Kinsey, he gets run out of room. He has to lift off, and Putt-Putt survives. But, man, at what cost to Dylan Kinsey as Clay sends it in on the bottom. The high side banger doing exactly that, trying to beat this wall down. But he's tied up behind the 56. And Putt-Putt making it work on the bottom as Anthony Morano tries the battle for the lead. Anthony sends it in. You see him make up a little bit of time here. But Randall a little quicker in the center. But Anthony making the money coming off the corner as he really closes that gap in the 32 at the halfway point. Just about time to go to work. As he's got plenty of time to set the 0-1 up, the 0-1-1 up and make a move here. As we come across the line, 3 laps to go. Anthony just got a fender underneath that left rear, but Randall doing such a good job of driving defensive there, running that middle line. Maybe not the quickest way around the racetrack, but you're preventing Anthony from being able to slide up and carry all that speed through the center of the corner. And Anthony's not going away, man. He is like that pesky little brother. He inches closer, but I just don't know if he's close enough to make the move here, as we got a lap and a half to go. Coming off of 4, he clips the berm. That gave him a little bit of traction side by side at the line. 1 lap to play. Anthony Morano, what can he do? He gets a run off of 2, but it's just not enough. He had to fall back in line. And with the white flag in the air, the final time off of 4. Checkered flag waves. Randall Dixon wins heat race number 3. Anthony Morano, Clay Christopherson, and Dylan Kinsey to the A main. Randy Shreves and Patrick Spangler to the B. As we get ready to take a look at our 4th and final heat race of the evening, the starting grid looks a little something like this. To the outside of row number 3, the Spider Monkey Brandon Dittmer. To the inside, the Deuce of Harold Klump. Row 2 to the outside, the 79 of Dean Reynolds. To the inside, the 31 of B-Temp Brandon Templeton. Row 1 for your 4th and final heat race. To the outside, the 99 of the Dark Knight Gavin Chatham. And lining up on the inside, the 93 of Butters Jason Butterfield. Well, we should pace around here, I'd imagine. Do that extra lap like we have been, but you never know. They could catch me here. Could catch me slipping, but right now, I appreciate all you guys tuning in. Definitely let me know who you're rooting for. I can see it on either end. I got mine up on one side, the coast to coast up on the other side. Hopefully the stream looks a little better too, because I upgraded the graphics card, so I've been real self-conscious about the stream quality. You guys are probably like, dude, I don't even notice. I'll tell you, when I race, I notice. And it is such a big deal. This should be the final time here. Rolling around, we'll see the Steve King Foundation pace truck dive off. Unless I haven't blabbered that long. But I thought I blabbered for a long time. Yeah, there we go. So the Steve King Foundation pace truck pulls off. The green flag's high. It's ready to fly. 8 laps to play in the clay in your 4th and final heat race. Butters with a good jump on the bottom. Dino struggling, or no, that was Gavin. Struggled a little bit upstairs. Not too sure what happened to the driver of the 99, but he fell on back. And now Dino, he's up 1 spot so far. He'd like to go to work, but he's got a little side-by-side racing action right off his nose. Oh, Dino! Oh, we're on the nose, and Dino tried to make it 3 wide, didn't know there was a little contact in front of him, and boy, oh boy, by the skin of his teeth, the 79 survived that one. It was a close call for Dean Reynolds as Brandon Templeton, he works to the inside, tries to find a way under the popcorn, or the slippery finger man of Butters, Jason Butterfield. I almost called him the popcorn man. We can't have 2 popcorn man. The other one's Blake Chapman. He sells the popcorn as the 31 completes the slide job, but Butters slides to the inside here. He can't get up. The 31 holds him down. Dino takes advantage. Dino with a little contact with the 93. Not on Dino. Butters floated up a little high, and he's going to pay the ultimate price for it. As Dino, he is ready to go hunting. He's got his head down. He's going to work. Dean Reynolds, he's got him in his sights, but Brandon Templeton, man, he's a dog. He is not going to be easy to knock off that porch. And the 99 of Gavin Chatham, he is the first to admit this is maybe not his race car. He loves the sprint cars. Likes even the wingless stuff, but these modifieds not his cup of tea, but he is showing he has learned a little bit from the sensei here as he is right in the tire tracks of the 79. 2 laps to go this time by as Dino as close as he's been here. Last time by he had his quickest lap of the race, a 19.70, but Brandon Templeton just that much quicker with a 19.61, and Brandon with that clean air and the white flag in the air waving. You gotta think he's gonna be the guy here as he gets a good run off the top shelf in 2. He opens that lead a little further. Final time through 3 and 4 for the driver of the 31. Brandon Templeton sees the checkered flag in the air, and he brings it home. Dean Reynolds, Gavin Shatterman, Harold Klump to the A main, the Spider Monkey, and Jason Butterfield to the B. Now, we will have a B main here, but only one guy's going to go home. We're going to take 8 drivers. Only one guy's going to go home here, so you don't want to be that one guy, but we all know it's going to be one of them. We'll see who it is here. Hopefully everybody grids up for it. But Bob DeGood going to round out the B main, starting P9 in the 7, row 4 to the outside, Butters in the 93, Jason Butterfield to the inside, the 39 of the high side banger, Patrick Spangler. Row 3 to the outside, the 814 of Brad Waite to the inside, the 76 of Rylan Banks. Row 2 to the outside, the 83 of the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer to the inside, the 56 of Randy Shreves. Row 1 to the outside, the 21 of Blackjack John Tobias to the inside, the 110 of Kelly Wheeler. This is going to be a good one here. Everybody from what I see, now we do have to refresh because for some reason it's going to stack up at the top. Everywhere else looks good. But we'll hit it with a quick little refresh here. And then we'll hit me with a quick little refresh here. Some of these guys got new cars. We got time. We've been doing 2 pace laps tonight. No rush here. See, we do have all 9 drivers out on the racetrack, so somebody's going home with a broken heart here this evening. And I just hope that it isn't due to contact. Let's make this a good race here, you know. Let's have a battle for that final transfer. Let's not bully the guy out of the way here as we watch him roll through 3 and 4 for the final time. And we're going to get ready to go here. Is the 110 of Kelly Wheeler. Going to roll through 3 and 4. He sees that green flag, but he's got a while. He's got to wait. He's got to be patient. Not yet. Not yet. Time to drop the hammer. We've got 10 laps to play in the clay. Top 8 make it. Butters in that 8th and final transfer spot. This is where the action is. Anybody who knows me knows we're going to be watching this final transfer spot. Congratulations to Kelly Wheeler, but if you win the B main, well, you start the feature. And let's do a little bit of math here. For taking 8, I'm going to say 17th. So, I mean, it's not, you know, congratulations, you're in the show. But the action's going to be back here in the back. And boy, oh boy, we may have just found our sucker here. Brad Waite got suckered into the outside wall. Broken. That thing does not look like it's steering the best. Brad Waite, he's going to keep it out on the racetrack. You have to at this point. Got to hope somebody in front of you suffers some misfortune. And speaking of the high side banger, Patrick Spangler almost becomes the next one sucked into the outside wall. You get that right rear with these things in the outside wall and you don't do it soft enough, man, your right front or left front, whatever wall you get into is going to pay. And you got to be careful if you're going to go up there and flirt with the devil. But right now, Brad Waite, 2 seconds off the pace. You got to think, if you're Bob DeGood, you're done wiping the sweat off. You just got to keep this thing clean and bring it home, and you're going to be in the show. Bob looking smooth here. And this is where if you're Bob, you know, you're just trying to learn. If you're Kelly Wheeler, you're maybe, you know, trying to test some different lines while you're this far out front. Because you're, like I say, you're going to win the B main, but you won the 17th starting position. So you can only dream of getting to clean racetrack like this here when you come back out on the racetrack again. So you got to experiment. You got to figure out, man, what's the car like up here against the cushion? Do I have enough gear if I need to go up there? Do I have too much gear? You know, there's so many things that are running through your head right now if you're the 110 of Kelly Wheeler, and you just really, you got to test the waters. Is Patrick Spangler doing that? He's down low, looking underneath here, but Butter's trying to get to the outside here, trying to take a peek. He started right behind that driver of the 39, so he's been close enough to smell what he's had for dinner, but just can't find the oomph to get around. And Kelly Wheeler, man, he's hogging all of it. 1.2 seconds out front as he rolls through 3 and 4. He's going to see that white flag wave this time, and we've got one more lap to go. Kelly Wheeler takes the 110 and just absolutely walks off from the rest of the pack here. Started on the pole. That was all he needed. Final time through 3 and 4. Kelly Wheeler going to make the show, winning the B main. Brandon Dittmer, Blackjack, Spangler, Shreves, Butterfield, Banks, and DeGood as Brad Waite, with the early contact in the wall, going to find himself as the odd man out. As we're going to take a short break here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. And we'll be right back after a short word. Man, I was trying to wait for a gap done. Well, here comes the gap. I was going to say I didn't get much of one. They were just roaring by, but we're back. We'll be going feature racing here in our Full Throttle Motorsports Venom Racing 358 Modified Open Series. Here in just a few seconds as we see the checkered flag wave, warm-ups come to a close. Gavin Chatham with the quick time. Like I say, the guy who's not even necessarily, this is not his main car. He would tell you that. And Gavin, able to come out here, qualify quick, be quickest in warm-ups. He's gonna feel pretty good about that. Obviously, you want to back it up with a good finishing position, but can't do that if you don't have confidence and you don't feel quick in the race car. And Gavin, he should have no problem feeling that right now as we take a look here at the starting lineup here for tonight's A main here at the Knoxville Raceway. Row 12 to the outside, the 7 of Bob to Good to the inside, the 76 of Ryland Banks. Row 11 to the outside, the 93 of Butters, Jason Butterfield to the inside, the 39 of the high side banger, Patrick Spangler. Row 10 to the outside, the 56 of Randy Shreves to the inside, the 21 of Blackjack John DeBias. Row 9 to the outside, the 83 of the Spider Monkey, Brandon Dittmer to the inside, the 110 of Kelly Wheeler. Row 8 to the outside, the Deuce of Harold or wait, did I just skip a row? No, I didn't. Whoop. Okay, see, I was all good. I panicked. I did do the math. My bad. Row 8 to the outside, the Deuce of Harold Clump to the inside, the 639 of Dylan Kinsey. Row 7 to the outside, the 513 of the Brewerton Beast to the inside, the 883 of Bud Molyneux. Row 6 to the outside, the 99 of the Dark Knight Gavin Chatham to the inside, the 051 of Putt Putt Clay Christopherson. Row 5 to the outside, the 122 of Brian Dickens to the inside, the 16 of Matt Barber. Row 4 to the outside, the 79 of Dean Reynolds to the inside, the 32 of the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano. Row 3 to the outside, the 213 of Michael Vitale to the inside, $100,000 in the 518, Joseph Grandy. Row 2 to the outside, the 31 of Brandon Templeton to the inside, the 011 of Randall Dixon. Row 1 for your 358 modified feature at the Knoxville Raceway to the outside, the 390 of Mike Brewer, and starting on the pole, defending champion in the 007, Sam Bachman. As the Steve King Foundation pace truck pulls off, the green flag's high, it's ready to fly, there's 30 laps to play at the Knoxville Raceway. Good jump for the 007 of Sam Bachman as the fireworks go off. He tries to clear his teammate. Does so easily. What can Mike Brewer do with this momentum as he enters 3? The answer's nothing. He backs off the horn. He drops low. He wants to maybe cut underneath as the war rages behind. Randall Dixon, he's looking underneath here. Tries to get a run on the bottom, but he got passed by the 31 of Brandon Templeton. Now he may lose another one here. It's Michael Vitale. He's got the high side rolling. Brewer going upstairs, and he's finally going to protect now. We got a little contact in the back. Oh, couldn't tell who that was. Was that No, it's Joseph Grandy in the 518. The right front's broken. He collects the Barber. And we've got a rollover in 1 and 2. No caution on the racetrack. No caution. No caution. No caution. No caution. Caution flag waves. Oh boy, Grandy begging for that caution here is, couldn't tell. We're going to rewind a little bit if maybe Dino comes down up off the top, or if it's maybe a combination of both here. Let's take a look here. Let's go up into the drone camera. Oh, and that's one where Dino does come down a little bit, but that's a case of, man, Joe maybe, thinking the 79's going to clear him, because he would lift at that point, just crack the throttle a little bit, and it's, probably a case of him not realizing he's got as much exit speed as he does. And you see the right front's broke, so the 16 of Barber, he thinks he's going to get away with this thing after the original contact. But nowhere Grandy can go. It collects him one more time, and, well, the caution flag flies. Let's see here. Do we have anyone we want to mess with right now? I was like, all right, I've got to explain myself here. when I muted myself, I asked my wife for a drink, and I'm a prissy soda drinker who does not like the flat bottom part of the soda. So I'm going to say up top, right, there's a brand new one. Yep. I have the best wife in the world, ladies and gentlemen. And she knows I'm a spoiled, I'm a princess, basically. You know, I need the best, and she provides. That's for sure. So at the end of the day, we got her to thank for all this. As the lights are off on that Steve King Foundation pace truck, final time through 3 and 4. 007 of Sam Bachman can go anytime. All 4 tires hit pit road. They do. He drops the hammer. We're back underway. Lap 5 at the Knoxville Raceway. Ooh, we're battling 3 wide back. Here's the 122 of Brian Dickens. Takes a peek in the middle. The 011 of Randall Dixon on the top shelf and the Ant-Man on the bottom. As Sam Bachman out front, loving what he sees out of that rearview mirror. They are going to war here as we enter turn 1. Look at Gavin Chatham, that 99 going exploring down there in the brim, trying to go where no other car's gone before here. Through 1 and 2, he even goes a little lower in 3 and 4. Gavin Chatham, he was the quick man in warm-ups. He's got some speed, but right now stuck in traffic. Doesn't really have a way to unleash that speed, and another guy suffering maybe the same fate here. B-Temp, Brandon Templeton, trying to find a way around the 390 of Mike Brewer. As meanwhile, out front, Sam Bachman sets the quickest lap of the race with a 19.66. Man, Sam Bachman burning the place down here. He better leave a little something when we come back here for the Knoxville Nationals, because he is, oh man, he is destroying this place. Ooh, Gavin trying to work back to the outside here, and we go back even a little further. The 56 of Randy Shreves. He came out of that B main. He started 20th. He's up to 13th in that 56 as you see him try to work to the outside here. He slides up in front of the 83, the Spider Monkey, looking back below here. Brandon Dittmer struggling to find that grip on the bottom, floats up to the center. He has a little more success in there, but meanwhile, well, new fastest lap of the race. I'll show you guys if you don't believe me. Okay, you're not going to believe me because that is not correct. Last time, best time. No, that is not right. Because oh, wait, no, it was right. I looked at it wrong. I'm blind. The quickest guy on the track is the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano. Oh, and a caution flag flies. And that is not what the 007 wants to see, as his teammates starting to work the bottom, where a lot of guys aren't having success. And if he can inch his way on up through the bottom in the pack, when you tighten them all up on this restart, that's really going to help. You see John Tobias sends it down low. Grandy, he's home. And he is hammered into the outside wall by the 21 car. And Joseph Grandy, that is going to end the night of the 518, as that's the second caution for him. I imagine he's out of quick repairs. Tough break there for the driver of the 518, is back under caution here for the second time at the Knoxville Raceway. Sam Bachman pacing around here. He's got his teammate to the outside. Not going back green yet. They just double up going down the backstretch with 2 to go because the leader has lane choice. So Sam going to pick the inside line here. Now this is where Brandon Templeton, he's sandwiched. You see the top 5 there on your screen. 4 of them are FTM drivers. That 31 inside of row 2, he is the odd man out. He's got to figure out a way to survive here. And the best way to do that would be to get right on that tail tank of the 007 and get an amazing restart, because if he could find a way around that 39, You're not exactly sandwiched in the middle anymore. A little, Cream moved a little towards the front, and have to see what he can do here. Sam drops the hammer. We're back underway. 19 laps to go at Knoxville Raceway. Brandon Templeton tries, but he just can't do it. And Anthony Morano, big run off the top shelf. He takes over P3. Brandon Templeton tries to come back and look underneath, but can't make it work. And now Dino, he's trying to protect because, if you watch these races, that 51, he goes to the bottom. That's Dino's teammate. Putt doesn't have that nickname for no reason. He likes to punt that thing along the bottom, low and slow, and man, they're making contact back there in the back. That was Randy Shrees, Harold Klump, and Brandon Dittmer, I believe. But Brandon may survive for the time being, but Brandon may be a little upset as there's a battle for P2. Mike Brewer goes low, Anthony Morano to the top side. Brewer slide job. Anthony gonna cut back under. What can he do here? Do we see a slider this time going into 3? He hangs it on the bottom. He's not gonna float it up, and they're gonna run side by side across the line. Give it to the 32 of Anthony Morano. You need all that grip upstairs coming off of 2, and Anthony agrees. He slides up. He's got it at the halfway point. We've got 14 laps to go. This time by Sam Bachman with almost a second lead. Make that 3/4 of a second as Anthony Morano tries to be the beaver here and gnaw into the lead. What can he do? Sam, he's the defending champion for a reason. Mr. Consistency, man, doesn't bring home the most checkered flags necessarily, but he's going to bring home the most podiums. He's all about making sure that thing finishes. And Sam doing a good job of just keeping this thing smooth here at the Knoxville Raceway. Let's watch a couple guys dive into one here. See Brandon Dittmer, he went to the high side. Let's follow this runoff as he takes a peek on the 122. Brian Dickens. Oh, Dickens, I thought he was going to send it in and get it into the 011. But instead, Dittmer, he sends it in a little deep. He got into the outside wall, and then he gets run into the front stretch wall. Oh, the spider monkey. He thought the door was open, but Mama slammed it shut right in his face. And told him, I rang the dinner bell, man. You missed your chance. You make your own supper. And now Brandon Dittmer going to have to go back to work here as Anthony Morano, he's thrown everything he can, but he's watched this lead increase. And the defending champion looking to start off week 1 with a checkered flag here. Possibly an FTM top 3, unless the 31 of Brandon Templeton can get up here and spoil the party. The 31 is inching closer lap by lap. Templeton goes upstairs. Brewer protects the basement. But Mike, he's going to take a peek up here. He's going to see that left rear creeping up into his side. And Brandon Templeton going to be coming like a bat out of hell off of 2. And he takes the 3rd and final podium spot for the time being as Brewer tries to keep it on the bottom, clips the berm. He's going to lose all momentum, and he watches the 31 drive on by. Your top 3 now kind of set here unless Brandon Templeton can light the fuse. I don't think anybody is going to do anything with the 007 of Sam Bachman, possibly a battle for second, but even then, Anthony Morano, he's got a second gap over Brandon Templeton and really kind of extended that lead a little bit. So right now, drivers in the top 3 definitely seem to be slotted where they should be. And Dino, one of those guys, man, he's a points racer. He knows every point matters, and he's got to try to work around that teammate of his. in the 390. But with 5 laps to go, not a lot of time here to get the work done. Ryan Dickens, speaking of get the work done, he's been relentless plugging away down here. We saw him running side by side earlier with the 83 of Brandon Dittmer. But Brandon has since gotten around, and Ryan's lost another one to the driver of the 639, Dylan Kinsey. So while he's trying to make the bottom work, maybe how the car is set up to go tonight, man, oh man, the track just not responding. It's not letting the race car do what he wants here. Is Mike Brewer. He is reeled back in, the driver of the 31, Brandon Templeton. Maybe Brandon made a little mistake here, but it is on again. Can Mike Brewer race his way back onto the podium here as we are coming off of 4? 2 laps to go for Sam Bachman. This is our closest battle on the racetrack here. Who is going to bring home the 3rd and final podium spot? Is Mike Brewer looking for a big send here. Slide job through 3 and 4, but he can't shut the door. B-Temp with a big run. And the white flag in the air. Sam Bachman, your defending champion from the winter season. And he's looking to start off the spring season with an absolute statement. Give him the pole. Give him the heat race number 1 win, and now give him the checkered flag for tonight's feature at the Knoxville Raceway. Sam Bachman completes the trifecta in the 358 small blocks here. Anthony Morano, P2. Mike Brewer rounds out your podium. Brandon Templeton, 4th. And Dean Reynolds, your top 5. But Sam Bachman, welcome back to the Coast to Coast Racing League here. And man, he wants nothing more than to bring home another trophy. Great start. Sorry, I was taking a look at the messages. I'm talking to Bill Calder here a little bit. We'll try to find these guys in the Discord here. We're not going to find them because those FTM guys, those are the ones I yell at. They hang out in their private Discord. They want to be boring. Hog all their information. Oh, I just realized, see, I'm terrible because it's on the other screen. What's going on, Butch? We got Ron, Joe out there. And yeah, Joe, yeah, you know it happens. It's not fun, but it definitely happens sometimes, and that's the way it goes. Well, let's see here. Gonna try. I think some of these guys are starting to show up. So we'll see here. Find our correct camera. And yes, they are starting to show up. Hey, Mike.
Oh.
Hey, Mike. Nope, never mind. Mike's up here, but I am not working. I am the problem. Hey, Mike, do you hear me now?
Yeah, I got you.
Dude, hang on. For everyone on the broadcast, I forgot I do another league where I have to have this thing on push to talk. Let me turn this thing off push to talk real quick, Mike. That was on me.
All good.
Okay, we're back. We're ready. Well, Mike, man, dude, that was interesting. Last couple laps for you. You were the battle on the racetrack. We were keeping an eye on that until that white flag lap. But you gave up 3rd, and I'm not too sure. I wasn't watching. You know, I couldn't tell if maybe the 31 got into the wall, but I saw about 4 laps later, man, you trimmed that gap, and it took you about 2 laps to go to work. But once you finally got to that tail tank, man, you wasted no time with that move going into 1.
Yeah, you know, I was geared too high for that. I was bouncing the chip like 3/4 of the way down the straightaway and just holding it like wide open through the quiet, nothing. Too high on gear, so that's all I had. I couldn't get gripped up, but congrats to Sam and Anthony there and Templeton. I don't know what happened to him. That was a good race. I seen him get in the wall there, and then next thing I don't know if he ran out of fuel. I don't know what happened, but he just come to a stop there, slowed down, and I got by him. But
Yeah, that's why I was wondering if maybe, but if you don't know either, then I really don't know. That's kind of why I issued the question to you like that, because yeah, it just seemed like all of a sudden, you really chewed it up and you were battling there, but then he just kind of fell off. But hey, man, you can only control what you can control, and I'll tell you what, bringing home a Full Throttle Motorsports 1, 2, 3, man, to start off the season, that had to be the team goal, dude. You got to be happy about that.
oh yeah, it's always a team goal. Just sweep that podium, you know what I mean, and just and do good and have fun doing it.
Yeah, Mike, and man, these P3s, dude, they add up when you come championship time. I don't care how good Sam is, he ain't gonna win them all. So you keep racking up these P3s, man. You'll be in the discussion. Hell of a way to kick off the season. Congratulations, man. You got anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, you guys, the Shaggy TV, putting this on. All the guys over there at Full Throttle Motorsports and Venom Racing. Everybody out there watching. And I sent the late share out to a couple people there, but they were out in the stands watching. So thanks for them, joining in. Expert Installation and Swan Speed Shop. Dino over there at Dirt Car. Like I said, all the guys there are Full Throttle. Great group of guys. So glad to be here.
Well, hey, man, I know how talented you are in these things, and you can drive a late model too. Don't lie to me. I've seen it. But are we going to play with the sprint car at all? That I don't know much about of you. Do you like the wing cars? Do we play around with them?
I've tried them a handful of times. I'm terrible at them. So
you got a good teacher. You got Gavin now, man. That's probably one of the best teachers to have. So you got to dissect some information from him.
I'll have to see if he could give me a couple pointers. But I'm thinking about just tagging on, instead of qualifying with them, just join the tail end of a heat race, even if I don't make the show. Just to get some laps and some seat time.
Yeah, my man, dude. I'm going to be for everyone out there, I had mentioned, Marty will take this back over eventually, and I'm going to be running the Rebels. So tonight I'm going to register as a driver. So everybody, that's a little inside information. I won't be driving. So, we'll be waiting the full grid time and stuff, but I want the points because I'm trying to get in that Renegade series. So hopefully Marty's back in 2 or 3 weeks because, man, before I started this broadcasting, I just made my way up to the Renegade series, and then I lost eligibility because I started broadcasting. So shame on me.
Oh, man. Well, get back in the seat here soon.
Yeah, man. Hopefully I can join you in a couple weeks. But, Mike, tonight's about you. 1, 2, 3 for the team. Hell of a job, man. Hopefully I'm talking to you after the Rebels race, bud. Give him hell.
All right, thanks.
Mike Brewer bringing home P3, and now we're going to bring up the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano. Anthony, man, I thought for a little bit there, you made it up to P2 at about the halfway point. But boy, oh boy, man, you guys have just trained a beast. Sam Bachman, dude, he was just too quick tonight. Anything else you could have done?
Not a damn thing.
Yeah, it's kind of what I expected you to say because I really did, dude. I expected you to reel him in, and at least make a race of it. But he's become
our lap
an
times
animal,
are
man.
identical. Sam's really stepped up. He's really improved. He's gotten a lot faster. I mean, dude's just quick. I mean, I was throwing everything I could. I tried the top, bottom, middle, didn't matter. He found the right line to run. He was running it perfect. His lap times, I'd gain half a tenth. He'd gain half a tenth. Our times are identical. So, not a damn thing I could have done. I would need Sam to screw up, or a caution, and then Sam to screw up. I wasn't going to get him. So, hats off, ran a hell of a race. Apologize. I got in a Brewer there trying to get around him. I was coming off the bottom of the floor, and the car just got tight, and I tagged him in the left rear, coming to the start-finish line there. And at some point in time, around halfway. But, yeah, it was. I had to work there early, man. I didn't get didn't do too good in my heat race, so I had to start 7th or 9th or something. So, yeah, car held up great, though. Setup was on point. Can't go wrong.
No, and I mean, this is one of the racetracks that really, dude, as well as I do, it can throw a wrench at you. Sometimes it's racy, sometimes it's not. And it seemed like there in the early stages of the race, man, you could hook this thing up wherever you needed to go. I mean, I saw you getting guys on the bottom. I watched you go up top. I mean, did you have a preferred line there in the early stages, or was it really just go where the air was open?
It's pretty much just go where I could. There's, just a lot of speed up there in the front. Running with Vitali and Templeton and Dino and Brewer and racing with Randy Dixon there for a bit. Just I had to find a way to get around him, and just I was trying to get the bottom 1 and 2 to work, and there was just nothing coming out. If you hit it just right, there was something there. I'm sure Clay was down there with me doing the same line I was for a while. I can almost guarantee that. But I was trying it, couldn't get it, and then I went and threw a slider there in 1 and 2, and got up next to I think it was Dean actually, and it felt pretty good. Then I got Vitali, and then I got around Templeton, and a caution came out, and that kind of broke my momentum a bit and got it back going. So I was just trying to find the air and get the car to rotate right. Car was a little on the snug side, which is actually where I want it to be. Just not enough maneuverability to get to what I needed to do early. And maybe if I got up there, if that first caution had come out for another lap or so, or the second caution there, when I was racing with Templeton and Brewer, I might have had something there for Sam. Got a fresh start on him, but yeah, it's just racing. It was a lot of fun, good time. So try again next week.
Yeah, man, that's all you can do. You can't be heard about a P2 and an FTM 123, man. Hell of a run. Congratulations. You got anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, that's the main thing. FTM 123 there. I didn't even look to see where the other guys finished, to be honest. I know Dino was up there somewhere, and Brewer's third, obviously, but Dean got 5th, Clay 7th, Gavin 8th. Yeah, it was a pretty good deal there. Dylan got 11th on his first week back, and God knows how long. So gotta thank my wife Sherry, the boys at FTM, Super Air Car, High Mob Lens, Swan Speed Shop, DJ Sim Shop, X Translation, Castleberry, Flagstone, MDI TV, Shaggy. My new wrap's almost done, so your logo will be on that car. Griphack.com. Shaggy, you're doing a broadcast. Venom for Team Venom over there for coming out and sponsoring this league with us, and Swan Speed Shop. Everyone here at Coast to Coast.
Well, hey, man, congratulations. We're going to see you run any sprint cars here tonight?
No, I'm going to go run a open big block league.
All right. Well, hey, go bring home a checkered flag, man. Don't let Sam get that one.
He probably will. We're going to one of his tracks, so we'll see.
All right, Anthony. Good luck, brother.
Thanks a lot, Shaggy.
That's the man who finished P2, Anthony Morano. And now we're going to bring up the man of the hour here. You need to change that thing to, do you remember the commercial? Man, I think it was a sports commercial. It was on all the time, Sam. And it would go, the champ is here. The champ is here. You know what commercial I'm talking about? That's what we need.
I think
now.
I do.
Yeah, dude.
I'll find one.
There we go, dude. Man, it didn't take long for you to get back here, dude. Qualify on the pole. And you know the drill, man. When you get the pole, you get screwed in the heat race. You got to start on the outside of row 4. You didn't care. You blew the wheels off everybody, man. Won that thing by almost a second. What was the trick here tonight, dude? You were in your own zone. I mean, Anthony, I didn't want to break his heart a little bit. He said the lap times were identical. They weren't. He was a little slower than you, man. You were opening up the can on him, and that's unbelievable.
Oh yeah, just be honest, probably one of my favorite tracks. Once that bottom and 3 and 4 starts rolling in, I can always just hit it perfect. Put your left front right up on that berm, and it just cooks.
Yeah, man. We saw you do that a couple times, especially in 3 and 4. Guys maybe weren't having as much success in 1 and 2, but is that just like, a little nifty trick you learned down there on the bottom? Because we'd see you, like you said, man, just hook that left front right on the berm, and it almost steers the car for you.
Yeah, it gives you a little, loads up that shock a little bit, and sometimes it gives you a little boost, so definitely gives you some dig.
Now, were you worried at all, at that halfway point when the caution came out? Because, you had an even bigger lead before that caution came out. Was there any doubts, any fears going through your head at that point, or were you still pretty confident?
You can never know. You got there's a lot of good guys in this league, so anything can happen, but I knew if I just hit my lines right, I could keep it out front, and it'd be hard for them to pass me.
Well, hey, man, the champ's here, dude. You're back. Congratulations. You're hogging up all the points tonight because you didn't get any incident points either, did you?
I don't think I did.
Yeah, there we go, man. You're hogging them all up tonight. The 5 bonus points for the quick time, the win here in the feature. Congratulations, man. You deserve this more than anybody. You got anybody you want to thank before you get out of here?
All the boys over at FTM, Gunnar at Swan Speed Shop, Dean over at Super Dark Card Series, Expert Installation, Shaggy you for broadcasting, Coast to Coast, and yeah, that's it.
Well, hey, man, heck of a run. We gonna be back on Thursdays this year. You gonna defend that thing too?
Yeah, I'll be there, but we'll have to see how it goes.
All right, man. We'll be rooting for you. Give him hell, Sammy.
Thank you.
Sam Bachman, your winner here, the champ. The champ is here. He's back. Congratulations. Big win for the 007. Sam Bachman sweeps the night here in the opening portion of Monday Night Madness. But we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back with your Rebels action here, a little 360 sprint car racing. So stick around, and we'll be right back.
It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion, trying to be a
bit of a hiatus, so let's get tonight when we talked about it.
outpouring of love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
Yeah, working out those first week jitters here. I clicked the wrong scene twice. My apologies. I didn't mean to have that one replay, and then I brought up the wrong one. But we are back live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. I'm Zach Chapman with Shaggy TV, ready to bring you part 2 of Monday Night Madness. And, well, I don't like how you guys just got something on your screen that says not found. That is not good, because it didn't do that to me. So we are going to reset this overlay here. That would be a problem with the overlay, I would assume. So we will delete this. And then we will bring it back up, and hopefully it will be like nothing ever happened when we bring it over here. But if not, I may be in a little bit of a panic. So if you hear the voice get a little excited here, I don't know if Mike Brewer and Anthony Morano are going to show up or not. I did try to entice them. I told them that it wasn't a big car count. You're going to see 7 drivers. Like I say, you'll see my name out here. And, you know, actually, none of them will yell at me, I don't think. So we're going to watch them qualify. Let's see the time here. And then after all these guys put in their laps, we'll go on board here. I'm not going to go out there and put in a lap. I won't even have a setup in. But we'll just go out for a slow lap, you know, just maybe take a look at that berm that guys like Samuel Bachman and them were talking about, ways that you can just maybe manipulate the car a little bit. But I'm telling you, hands down, this guy is going to be the favorite this season. Get used to the name Steven Fernberg. Used to collect some wins here around Coast to Coast. He took a little bit of a break. Comes around first time, first lap P2 is Gary Offit in the 94. He's got quick time. He was quicker through Sector 1. slower through Sector 2. Not going to improve the lap. Does Fernberg improve? No. Steven going to qualify P2. We did have the Ant-Man, so we've got 5, 6, 7, 8, including me. So we may see 2 heat races of one of 4 and the other one of 3. And now, man, oh man, what is going on today with my SDK? So now the not found that you guys had seen earlier, I am getting a not found. Very, very weird. This is freaky. I run into some technical issues every now and then with SDK, but nothing really along these lines. And man, I am not getting my overlay to come back up here. So we'll watch Anthony go around here and qualify. And now that I'm running into a little bit of these technical issues, we won't even worry about doing that slow lap out there on the racetrack. I can at least see it on your guys' end, and I know these guys well enough that I'll know the car, but could have made it a little easier on myself. Anthony Morano blinks a little bit there on that second lap, but he is quicker through Sector 1, slower through Sector 2. Anthony Morano going to stay P4. So Devo and I are the only cars that haven't put in a time here. And you see, it's going to say not found there again. My apologies. But that time it's not found on purpose. We're going to see if I can possibly get this thing to play nicely. Here, I'm going to wait as long as I can to bring it back up. Let it refresh a little bit. Because, like I say, I'm a caveman when it comes to these computers. So, see here if we can get this to pop up. And actually, we are only going to have the one heat race. So this one, I wasn't sure if it was set up correctly because the other one scared me a little bit there. The last race where they were only doing, in the 358s, where they were only doing 6 cars. Like I say, normally that wouldn't be the case. They were trying to up them a little bit. So I think that will change here in the future and as we go forward. But let's take a look here at the starting lineup. Heat race number 1. To the outside of row 4. Well, you know what? Don't pay any attention to row 4 because Devo and I, Devo's not in the room, I don't believe. And, well, I'm up here in the booth. Row 3 to the outside, the 34 of Gary Taylor. To the inside, the Barber in the 16, Matt Barber. Row 2 to the outside, the 94 of Gary Offit. To the inside, the 39 of Steven Fernberg. Row 1 for heat race number 1 to the outside, the 789 of Cale Bixler. To the inside, the 32 of the Magic Ant-Man, Anthony Morano. And, you know, I could have done these guys a favor here. This is something I could have done. And let them skip the start. My apologies, fellas. I will do that for the feature, too. I I kind of forgot about that. Got caught slipping a little bit. And there, I was wondering why that wasn't back up. Well, of course, because when I hop out of the race car, it's not live. It puts you in a replay mode. So they started to go right away. And now everything's back and fixed. A little worried there for a second. Too sure either why it says Anthony Morano. Maybe it didn't like how low he was going down the backstretch, but saying that he was in the pits. It's throwing me for a little bit of a loop there as well. I'm going to do the 2 pace laps here for their one and only heat race. This, of course, brought to you by the Salty Dogs race team. Big shout out to the Salty Dogs for coming together and putting on this sponsorship. That way we could broadcast this season. You know, Gary Taylor, I just saw something on that race car that I haven't seen in a long time. The Pit Side Podcast, man. I was a guest on that. Kind of fell off there whenever Preston kind of stepped away for a little bit. But that was a neat thing Coast to Coast used to do, the Pit Side Podcast. Who knows if we'll ever see that come back? You see the Steve King Foundation pace truck pull off. The green flag's high. It's ready to fly. We've got 8 laps to play in the clay. Your one and only heat race is underway. Anthony Morano off to a good start here. Up to, or no, never mind. I was looking at the wrong gap. Kale Bixler all over him. I mistook Anthony for Kale. Kale not letting Anthony get away here. He's still in tow. You see the racetrack pretty fresh, and I got a feeling it's going to be that way all night. Not a lot of race cars here at the Knoxville Raceway for your Rebels action, so racetrack not really going to age like we've seen in the past here, like we did in the 358 modifieds. You're going to have to kind of be ready to go hammer down here. And I mean, I said it in the last race, but you really are. You're dancing with the devil. You got that thing matted to the floor the whole time you're out there. And Kale Bixler trying to find some grip, make it stick down there on the bottom of 3 and 4. He's side by side at the line, but you give it to the Ant-Man for the time being, as Kale Bixler trying to fight strong in the 789. What can he do? They're side by side through 3 and 4 as we come out of 4 this time. 3 laps to go. Kale Bixler trying to make the basement work as they're side by side, man. These guys are absolutely giving it their all. They are doing great here. And yeah, Jack, the Pitside Podcast is not moving to Shaggy TV. I do too much already because my wife may kill me. As Anthony tries to cut underneath, do a little crossover move here in 3 and 4. He loses it in the center. Kale Bixler, welcome to the lead as the white flag flies. And I just realized your guys' overlay went out, so I promise this may be an issue that I'm having to fix here throughout the night. But the checkered flag waves. Kale Bixler brings home heat race number 1, followed by Anthony Morano, Stephen Fernberg, Gary Offit, Gary Taylor, the Barber. Your one and only, me, and Donovan Ross. As we're actually, you've seen enough commercials there in the past couple. They only did the 1 heat race. We're not going to go to commercial here. We're going to let me play around with this, and because I'm going to let this rest for a whole 2 minutes. And this final minute, you may see the overlay pop up. I want to really try to let this thing refresh because, well, like I say, if you've watched me, you know sometimes that overlay will double stack, and I just have to click the reload button. But, man, it never says what it's saying right now. So it's putting a little lump in the throat. But, Brandon, yeah, ran with 6 gallons, ran out of fuel about 200 yards from the finish. So that's what happened to Brandon. We got Hollow out there watching. Lots of guys out there watching tonight. Pretty busy. We got 20-some people watching on the coast-to-coast end. Almost close to 20 people watching on my end. The different streams. So we got a good bit of people out there tuning in tonight. Definitely appreciate you doing so. I'm going to mute myself for about a minute while I yell my frustrations at my computer, and we'll be right back. All right, we're gonna try the backup way. They give me a couple links, so I'm gonna try the other link that I don't normally use. I think the one that I'm supposed to use. So, see if this makes it run any better here. You're looking at Stephen Fernberg right now, the quickest car on the racetrack, and as the track starts to age, this is when you'll see, you know, speeds start to separate a little bit. Guys a little faster than other drivers. And the other, you know, this is where the skills start to widen a little bit. But we won't see that track as beat up as I mentioned before, as we normally do. Not a lot of cars out here, so you gotta run what you brung, and you gotta just try to bring it home in one piece. Let's take a look here. Actually, if I put the entries, so Devo, yeah, he's pretty sure he's a Renegades driver, so that would make sense. He's definitely not supposed to be here. So whenever this thing grids up, we're gonna see Steven Fernberg, quick time, Gary Offit, Matt Barber, your top three. I will plop myself into the car again to speed this up. I won't make them wait the full 2 minutes. And well, then we'll get ready to go here. The PA system, it's what a lovely ad that they've added. It creeps me out sometimes. I think someone's talking in the room behind me. But let's take a look at that starting grid. Ignore row number 4. I just want the points for 7th. Row 3 to the outside, the Barber. Matt Barber to the inside, the 34 of Gary Taylor. Row 2 to the outside, the 94 of Gary Offit. To the inside, the 29 of Steven Fernberg. Row 1 to the outside, the 32 of the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano. And starting on the pole, the 789 of Cale Bixler. All right, let's do it. Save these guys some trouble here. It was only 18 seconds. But there we go. Now, Cale Bixler, what I believe may be his first pole here going into a feature. Have to see if he can take advantage of that P1 starting spot. He's got 30 laps to hold off 5 other drivers. Not going to be easy to do, especially on a green racetrack. This is when, you know, maybe it's a little easier to make a mistake when it's a little slippery out there, but when you make a mistake on a green racetrack like this, you're doing it at a faster speed, and 9 times out of 10, you're going to pay for it. The price is going to be that much higher. But let's see here. Hey, Terry, you got a copy? We're live.
Yeah, go ahead.
You watching this race right now?
Yeah.
All right, what are we thinking, man? Not a lot of cars, but what are we thinking? Who's the dog? I don't really remember Steven Fernberg, but that guy was pretty good, wasn't he?
Yeah. That's what I put my quarter on.
All right, I'll send you back home, but I had to get your
All
opinion.
right, brother.
All right, you heard it from the Desert Demon himself. He likes Fernberg as well. I was pretty sure that was the dog today. That's who I'm putting my quarter on as well. As the green flag's high, it's ready to fly. 30 laps to play at the Knoxville Raceway. Cale Bixler takes advantage of that P1 spot, slides up right in front of Anthony Morano and shuts the door. Anthony trying to go to work here, doesn't want to let him get too far out in front. Meanwhile, early favorite here in the 29, Steven Fernberg, is trying to let those two not get too far away. But at the same time, you got to be a little defensive. You got some dogs behind you. You got Gary Offit, Gary Taylor, and the Barber. As Fernberg touches that outside wall coming off of 4, Anthony Morano looking for a way to set up your leader. That is not the camera we wanted. That is not the camera we wanted as Anthony blinks. We wanted this one as we ride off the correct roll bar. Anthony Morano, you can hear that thing, man. It is absolutely pinned. He's right up against the cushion, trying to run him down. Let's check out Fernberg's view. He goes slow. We got a battle for P2 as the 29 looking fine here on lap 5 at the Knoxville Raceway. Steven Fernberg trying to find the grip, but right now it seems like that cushion's developing in the middle, and you want to put that right rear right in the Hershey Kisses, but Fernberg trying to do what nobody else can do right now, make the bottom work as he inches up closer, trying to wiggle, trying to find some room to get on by. Oh, there's 60. He keeps rolling, and the early favorite finds himself in the back as Steven Fernberg. Whoa, enough excitement for one season there, going through 1 and 2. Boy, oh boy, that was a close call for the driver of the 29, and man, he lived to tell another tale there. But now Cale Bixler, he is walking away out front, 3/4 of a second lead for the 789. Make it almost a second as Cale Bixler, welcome to the party here at Knoxville. Sails it into 3 and 4, rides the cushion as Steven Fernberg trying to get one more back, trying to work under the barber in the 16. You know, that thing's got to feel a little sick. I mean, in that 29, that was some pretty good contact. And, well, with not a lot of cars, no caution, that may have done him in. He's got some time, but, man, he's going to have to work the wheel in that 29. And I just don't know. That is going to be asking a whole lot here at Fernberg. Takes a peek here to the inside. He's going to slide up. What does Barber do? He runs it right up against the cushion. He doesn't care. He's not scared. Goes up top. He sees the 29 wash up, but he leaves that lane open, and this is where Fernberg, maybe he knows the top 5 make it to the dance here in the Renegades, so pretty much everyone going to make it here to that next feature if they'd like to. Only one driver not gonna. And Fernberg, if he can behave, getting that top 5, maybe using this as a little lesson here, trying to go learn. But as the track starts to age, that 32 inches ever so closer, the gap is down to under 0.5 of a second as they enter the corner, 0.4 as they exit. Anthony using that berm to help turn the race car. With the entry of 3, excuse me, I keep getting the hiccups. I don't know what it is with me today. It's the 34 of Gary Taylor. He takes a peek up in that rearview mirror. He sees Steven Fernberg getting closer and closer every lap. Fernberg just watching the sand run out of the hourglass, though, as we're halfway, 15 laps to go. Anthony rolling good there through the center. But Cale, so comfortable there in that middle top that you got to think, even if Anthony can get to him, what do they say? It's one thing to catch a guy, it's another thing to pass him. And Cale Bixler right now just on rails in the 789. Anthony sees Gary Offit in the 94 really closing up on him. And man, that Pepsi Blue machine is ready to roll. Gary Offit taking a peek on the bottom here through 3 and 4. He's got some speed right now. The 94 right there. Any mistake, he takes over P2 here with 12 to go. You got to think Gary Offit, coming into tonight, you told him you were going to run P3 here at Knoxville. He would have had a big old smile on his face here. But he's still got 11 laps to go. He can make it a little better, or you can make it a little worse as you see Cale Bixler. He jumps the cushion. That gap is down to 0.2 of a second. Anthony Murano maybe got the breath of air he needed. Sees the 789 lose the rear end, and he is all over the tail tank here as we go down the backstretch. 9 laps to go. This time by is Anthony Murano, the closest he's been since the start of the feature. Getting those big runs off the top of 2. He reels it into about a 1/10.5 gap here in the middle of the corner. What can he do coming off? They're side by side. Cale Bixler slides up. Anthony Murano takes the lead in 1 and 2. Cale Bixler coming back for some more here. He has a little slide job through 3 and 4. Anthony cuts under, down through the center. They make contact. Cale in the outside while he hangs on. Gary Offit slips into P2 now after the bump, and you got to think Cale Bixler, that car may not be handling that well now. Pretty good shot there to the 789, and here comes Fernberg. Steven Fernberg takes over that 3rd and final podium spot, and now Cale Bixler at this point, he's going to watch 4th slip away as he falls back to 5th. But the Barber, he's out of the race. So, Kale, welcome to join us in the Renegades race here as he holds on. And we got the Barry family out there watching. Appreciate it. Yeah, it does have pretty good racing here in the Coast to Coast Racing League for sure. But 5 laps to go for this time by for the driver of the 32, Anthony Morano, who just sees Gary Offit getting closer and closer and closer. Gary, when does he try to make a move here? Can he get a run off of 4? He inches to within about a quarter of a second. And Anthony's so quick on corner entry, but he gives it all up on the exit. That's Gary Offit. Oh man, he's ready to dance. He takes a peek. 2 laps to go. Battle for the lead in Knoxville. Gary Offit trying to make the Ant-Man work here as Anthony rolls the top through 3 and 4. He sees the white flag in the air. We've got one more trip around. Anthony looking good through 1 and 2 at a great exit. You gotta think it's his to lose. Final time through 3 and 4. Checkered flag waves. And Anthony, there we go. Sorry, I got quiet. The checkered flag didn't wave. iRacing, I don't know what they were doing. That is the first time I've seen that. That almost caught me speechless. I thought my software was off. But Anthony Morano takes the checkered flag. Gary Offit, P2, and Steven Fernberg rounds out the podium. Gary Taylor and Cale Bixler, your top 5. Man, I haven't seen that one. He's still not waving the checkered flag. I bet you it's got to do with me not being in spectator mode and me being a racer. I guarantee you that's what that is. So we'll blame me some more. The 94, Gary Offit. I told you, this isn't a shot at him, but I don't, he doesn't finish up on the podium that often. I think he forgot we're supposed to have the top 3 show up to the line. So Gary Offit, he missed, gonna miss his little chance for his podium picture, but I think at the end of the day, he's still gonna be happy with that P2. But let's see if we can get a chance here to talk to the driver who finished in 3rd place. I talked to him a little bit before the race. I'll tell you what, Steve, man, I knew I'd talk to you, but I didn't think it would be after this exciting of a fashion. You do a 360 as we're watching after a little contact. You keep on the hammer, man, and you drive back up through the field and still get this thing onto the podium. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I felt like I embarrassed myself there with that 360. I did not mean to get into him at all. It happened, and I surprised I saved it.
Yeah, dude, me too. And, to be able to keep it rolling forward at the same time, was it a curse or was it a good thing that the caution didn't come out? Because realistically, Steven, maybe if we park that thing sideways, I know it's very not sportsmanlike. I'm not trying to get you to do that, but maybe we're talking to you a little later here if we tighten up the field. I mean, what's the reaction in the car? What are you thinking about it?
Yeah, I was glad the caution didn't come out because I was broke. That last 30 laps or 20 laps, I was broke because of that incident. So I'm glad the caution didn't come out. Those guys raced really good up there.
Yeah, man, they definitely did. And, you had your hands full trying to come up to the front, but you did a good job of doing that. Able to bring home a P3. And, Steven, I know it's been a while, man, but, the deal is you finish in that top 5, you can go up here and run some Renegades. We're going to see you come back out?
Yeah, I'm going to come back out.
All righty, man. We'll be rooting for you. But before you get out of here, man, lots of sponsors on that 29. You got anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, I like to thank all the guys over at All American Motorsports, Finish Line Race Design, Boss Hog Off-Road, Bonehead Podcasts, and Geek Equipment, and just all my teammates that kind of pushed me to get back into this league again.
Yeah, man, we're glad to have you back. Definitely a name we miss, and, man, the competition level just got that much better. Welcome back, Steven. Can't wait to talk to you again.
Thank you.
Steven Ferber bringing home P3, and now we're going to bring up the man who finished P2. But boy, oh boy, was it a close P2. Gary, that thing was a hot rod tonight, man. I don't know what it was, maybe track conditions, but boy, oh boy, man, in another world here, you're bringing home the checkered flag because you were awfully close to finding a way around.
Yeah, I probably should have done a slide job before the white flag, but I always prefer to race everybody as clean as possible. And what a good group of guys tonight, and how clean they always race. So you got to give a lot of respect.
Yeah, man, and I mean, with a smaller field too, you don't need anybody adding that name to the list either to go out there and get you back. So you got to watch your back at the same time. But Gary, man, lots of speed out of this thing, and that it came on at. Well, I'll ask you point blank. Were you maybe taking it a little easy there in the beginning of the race? Because, man, that was an awkward time of the track there for your car to pick up a lot of speed. Were you just making sure you made it through the opening portion and then you decided to turn it on?
Yeah, I kind of figured I'd have my tires kind of towards the end is what I wanted. So I just kind of said, well, I'm just going to settle in, see what I can do.
Well, man, it paid off. Maybe a late race caution. We never know, man. Could be talking to you later. But to start the year off with a P2 in this 94 machine, I know you got a smile on your face, man. Got to feel good. Congratulations. You got anybody you want to thank?
Oh, yeah. Thank all the guys, Jack, Keith, Devo, Greg. And then I also have a special request that Hayden Young with Young Gun Solutions. Man, did you see my new paint job tonight?
Okay, now,
dude, that's the reason why I was fast.
Aiden's my teammate, so I was gonna let that go till the end. I was gonna ask you when you got him to get that done because, man, dude. Well, I called it. I don't know what blue, but I called it. Kind of like that Pepsi blue, that logo, man. I love that thing. That is a beautiful looking car. I mean, how'd you get him to do that for you?
Oh man, it was lots of texts back and forth. I kept on texting Detroit Lions, like, hey, Detroit Lions.
That's the blue. That's the blue. I screwed up with Pepsi. I knew I saw that before. Okay, there's the blue. Keep going.
So, yep, nope. And then you for doing the broadcast, C2C, for all they do. And then also for the Salty Dogs being able to broadcast this and do all the helps. So, what a great evening.
Well, Gary, man, you know the drill, dude. You finish in the top 5. You get to go run some Renegades. We're going to see you out here.
Sure. Oh, yeah. I'm coming in.
All righty, man. We'll be rooting for you. Give him hell, brother.
All right. Thanks.
Let's Gary off at your P2 finisher. And now we're bringing up the man. I told you show up. You can come in here, turn some heads. Anthony, it wasn't as easy as maybe I thought it was going to be. You had to work for it, but boy, you bring home the checkered flag, man. How are we feeling?
A little guilty, honestly. Kind of got in a Kale there. Looked like he came down off the wall a little bit. I wasn't expecting, and I got him. So my big apologies to Kale. I don't get to race Kale as much as I used to. We always had fun racing together, and kind of a crappy feeling there. Definitely didn't mean to get into him. So Kale, I'm sure. I think I've seen him. He's already registered for the Renegades race. So apologies to him again. Really feel bad about that. But yeah. Just I don't know, man. I didn't feel too good there, honestly. Just struggling to find something, and I found a slider line there, and it was about 0.3 faster a lap. So started catching back up the Kale, and I went back and looked at the replay. It looked like he wiggled coming out of 4 and came down off the wall a little bit, and just kind of got tire to tire with him, and he got the wall, and I don't know what happened after that, but sucks. But yeah, we'll take it and move on, use it for some learning, and see what we do here in Renegades, and then right after that I go run a 410 here at Knoxville, so get some practice in with Dean and Gavin and see what we do with the pros in that division.
Well, man, I'll be looking forward to it, but you gotta wipe that clean a little bit. You know how the deal goes sometimes too, man. You're out there leading the way, and he sees you take that peek underneath, and he adjusts that different entry line, jumps the cushion. It changes everything sometimes when you're in that rhythm, and that's definitely not all on you, man. That's as racing incident as you can get here at the Knoxville Raceway. But Anthony, you kind of answered my question there. So we're going to see you come back out here one more time?
Yeah, I'm gonna get the seat time here in the sprint car at Knoxville. Like I said, go run a different league after this with the 410s here. So get all the seat time I can in a sprint car at the track that I'm gonna be running at. So see how that goes. Maybe I'll learn something and figure out how to be a little bit faster because I felt like I was struggling like no tomorrow out there. So we'll see.
Well, man, you know what the deal is. It's all about that seat time, and getting it only makes you better. That's why you're up here on the top step. Hell of a job, Anthony. Congratulations on the win. Who you want to thank, brother?
I thank my wife Sherry, the boys at FTM, Super Dare Car, Mom Lens, Fun Speed Shop, DJ Sim Shop, Expert Installation, Castaway Flagstone, Shaggy TV, GripPack.com, Shaggy for doing a broadcast, Never to Coast to Coast, and I think the Salty Dogs sponsored
Yes, sir.
Rebels this year. So shout out to those guys there. Everyone here at Coast to Coast for getting us on. Jack Hitt did the admin for that race. So let's see what we can get going here and see how we make out. Maybe we'll talk to you again here after Renegades.
Come on, man. You're not going to shout me out for my P7 finish here?
Dude, you were so fast I didn't even see you.
Hell of a job, Anthony. Give him hell in the Renegades, bud.
Thanks, buddy. I'll talk to you in a bit.
Anthony Murano bringing home the checkered flag. And after some hard-fought racing there between him and Kale, it's a shame that Kale ended up getting in the wall. We had a good finish brewing, but hey, that's the way racing goes sometimes. And we're going to take a quick break here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, and we'll be right back with a little Renegade sprint car action here at the Knoxville Raceway. Stick around. It's time for another edition of RSN Trackside, powered by Bob Johnson Auto Group on Rock Sports Network. Kiss on the champion, trying to be a
Bit of a hiatus, so let's get. Tonight we'll be talking about it.
outpouring of love was amazing. These dollars had come together to support us, and we realized, no, we didn't want to use them for us. We wanted to use them to help others.
The foundation has done so much for so many people. It helps any family that has somebody, whether it be a crew member or one of the drivers, that get hurt. We can help them to get through the situation.
I was injured in a non-wing sprint car accident that broke my neck and left me with a spinal cord injury. I was in the hospital 8 months, and that got really, really expensive. So having that extra help to help push me and my family forward was a big deal.
I was involved in a pretty gnarly sprint car crash. Found out my brain was swelling and bleeding. Pelvic bone was broken. I had 2 cracked vertebrae on my back, and I was in the ICU a little over a week. The Steve King Foundation reached out to my parents. We received a donation from them. Immediately, they started me on what's called neurofeedback, and insurance did not cover the neurofeedback appointments. So we received another donation from the Steve King Foundation. It really helped a lot, and I just want to say thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart to the Steve King Foundation for everything that they have done for me. This last Sunday, I got to turn laps in my modified here. That was my first laps back in a race car since the accident, and I truly believe that if it wasn't for the Steve King Foundation, I wouldn't be able to do that or be where I'm at today.
Yes, Steve's death is the reason the foundation exists, but it's Steve's life, and it's the lives of racers everywhere, is the reason we're able to do the work we do.
We are live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, and we're back for part 3 of 3 here for a little Monday Night Madness. We got the Renegades. This is what you've all been waiting here, waiting to just sink your teeth into this action, because I'm telling you, it is going to be good. Right now, we've got 27 drivers in here. 25 drivers have put in the time. So we're doing a little B-main race in here. We're only taking 25 or 24 to the show. Excuse me. So if you want to dance, you better brought your shoes. Put them on, because it is going to get nasty out here. Well, actually, there we go. We're going to roll right into qualifying. I was a little scared there at first. I thought they were maybe already qualifying, as I noticed my time is not moving at 10:51, so we're going to hope that it just froze at 10:51 and that everything goes back. There we go, after the problems that we had last time. Man, oh man. God, the heart attacks continue. Let's see who's out on the racetrack here first. It's going to be the 7. It looks like Bob the Good. But he's going slow. He may lose the privilege. Let's see, -4. Yeah, see, Keith Jackson. He roared out of there. He's the first driver to the line, and Keith Jackson in the 13. Let's see what he can do here, man. He's got a lot of speed in these sprint cars. Got a lot of speed in the asphalt side of things, too. He's a well-rounded driver. Let's see what Keith Jackson can do. Taking this 113 across the stripe for the first time. Keith Jackson's lap time is not anywhere close to the top of the charts. Dino, welcome, season 1. I'll tell you, Dino, he was so close to a win last season. He is itching for one. And Dean Reynolds, what can he do here? Can he improve? Second time around, no, but the 16 flat still at the top of the charts. Let's find somebody who could maybe knock off the old timer here. Blake Chapman, P3 on the opening lap. Half a tenth off of Dino, but Brad Waite, purple through Sector 3, but slower through Sector 1. He comes in at P9, even with the purple Sector 2. Blake improves through Sector 2, but not going to find more time. And I'll tell you what. Okay, let's see. Can Ross do it? Because I don't want to jinx this, man. How much time do we have left, too? Purple through Sector 1. Green Sector 2. The boss. What does he do? Oh, it's not what he does. It's not him. It's Chad Cote, the Goose. He's loose here at Knoxville. He takes quick time, your final driver to put in a qualifying time. And boy, the anticipation was worth the build up there. Gavin Chatham, he has not put in a time yet, but we've gotten 26 drivers to clock in here. So not sure if Gavin is going to be here, if he's going to race with us. But man, oh man, the Goose, he's taking quick time here at Knoxville. Congratulations to Chad Cote. Way to kick off the season with those 5 extra bonus points. And man, oh man, what I would kill to be able to go down into that FTM Discord. You guys, you sneaky guys, you got it locked. I can't even go into the broadcast booth and pull you up there because you guys are locked in your rooms. Boy, oh boy, I would love to pick apart Dino right now. That guy, I guarantee you, he is more excited than when I walked down the steps as an 11-year-old and unboxed that PS2 for Christmas because, man, that good a qualifying effort. Dino, he's gonna be upset about having to start 4th in heat race number 2. We'll see that when we look at their starting grid, but that is a dream scenario to start off here for Dean Reynolds. Rounding out the field here, heat race number 1, the Pink Panther in the 127, Jesse Atkinson, row 3 to the outside, the 36 of Barry Goldner, to the inside, the 94 of Gary Offit. Row 2 to the outside, the 11 of the Goose, Chad Cote, to the inside, the Salesman in the 20, Blake Chapman. Row 1 for heat race number 1, starting on the outside in the 042, the Macho Man Tyler Wilson, and starting on the pole, the 7 of Bob DeGood. Here we go, looking like we did get everyone. It took a while, but we did get everyone. I was thinking we were maybe going to run this one with only 6 drivers, but I should have known better. Everybody's ready to dance here, and the Macho Man, he's got that Training Wheels racing machine on the outside. He's going to look to take advantage of that good starting spot. Bob DeGood the same as well. Not very often you get a chance to start on the front row here for heat race number 1, and we all know winner of heat race number 1, well, you get to start on the pole for the feature tonight. So this race means absolutely everything, and you're going to see guys all the way back to that 127, the Pink Panther, trying to claw his way up to the front here. This starting spot for tonight's feature means the world. We'll have to see if Hollow's boy, the Goose, can let those wings flap out here. I know you're out there, Hollow. I haven't been able to keep an eye on the chat box, but I saw you chime in earlier, so I'm sure you got that thing wild, and I'll tell you what, I appreciate it. I know he wants to win, but who do y'all want to win? Let me know in that chat box as we're getting ready to play, man. This is some of the best here. Going racing in the clay in the 360 sprints. Heat race number 1 is underway. The Macho Man ripping on the outside. Somebody snap that man. There he goes. Tyler Wilson to the lead, almost by a second. I tried to warn you. I said he'd take advantage of that front row starting spot, and man, Bob DeGood caught sleeping a little bit. He's let 2 guys go around. Now 3 is the Salesman. Winds the toy up and goes around the outside. The Pink Panther trying to claw his way into the gap here. He gets the door shut. He takes a peek down low. Bob bounces off the wall. There's a little bit of contact. Jesse slides back up. He's able to hold it in the center on 1 and 2. But boy, oh boy, hands full here, and we're only 2 laps in. The Macho Man trying to get away from Mr. QuickTime there, the Goose. As you see Chad Cote, he's trying to inch closer. He's giving it all he can. He's going up there. He's beating down the cushion. You see, he gets a better run center off. He's really reeling him in. In the distance, the Macho Man is pulling away in the entry of the corner, just not overcoming all that speed. And the only friend of the 42s here is Father Time, because as we come down the front stretch, there's 3 laps to go. And Blake Chapman, quickest lap of the race last time by 16:04. The salesman, he's trying to sell some popcorn, but you got to climb some spots to do it. What can he do here? Rips the top shelf through 1 and 2. He's getting really close to the goose here. No, I thought maybe we'd see a slide line here from Blake and come up to the tail tank, but with the white flag flying, the Macho Man, he's got that 4/10 of a second lead. He is looking pretty good. Final time into 3 as he rolls into 4. Checkered flag waves. And I can't find the camera. There we go. Checkered flag waves. The Macho Man brings home heat race number 1, followed by the Goose, the Salesman, and Bob DeGood. Gary Offit, Atkinson, and Goldner to the B main. My apologies there, but I'm even losing my voice a little bit. This is getting exciting, man. These guys are... Whew. We've got some good drivers out here. And I'll tell you what, I can only hope to be in this list one day. They put on a heck of a show. Let's take a look here. Starting grid, heat race number 2. Devo, Donovan Ross to the inside of row 4. Row 3 to the outside, the 113 of Keith Jackson to the inside, the 789 of Cale Bixler. Row 2 to the outside, the 79 of Dean Reynolds to the inside, the 56 of Randy Shreves. Row 1 for heat race number 2, starting on the outside, the 30 of Steven Goldner to the inside, the 161 of the Desert Demon, Terry Landis. We'll have to see here if the pace truck doesn't pull off here, which I don't think it will. It won't. Okay, I'm going to mute myself here, gargle a little bit of water. I have, man, I love doing this broadcasting. I hope you guys can tell I do. But I've been doing it a lot now, and I really, really love doing it. So my voice doesn't really, really love me all the time. So let me gargle some water here, and then I'll unmute myself. Just give me a second. As we roll through 3 and 4 for the final time, the Steve King Foundation pace truck pulls off. And the Yoo-Hoo machine of the 161, Terry Landis, gets set to drop the hammer, and there's 8 laps to play in heat race number 2. The Desert Demon, can he get up and shut the door? No, man, he left the screen wide open. And here comes Dean Reynolds. He wanted to join the party, but there's a little contact. He's shoved to the outside 3 wide, and Keith Jackson, welcome to the show. He takes that 113, and he's going low. Keith Jackson finding a lot of grip down there as Terry Landis seems to be struggling in that 161. Trying to catch the right rear is, now Randy Shreves almost taps that wall a little bit. He almost comes down and gets into Dino, but Dino for the time being worked his way on around, but all that momentum up top, Dino had to give it right back. There's 5 laps to go here for your leader, Steven Goldner. Is Terry Landis running around P2. He's gotten a handle on that 161. Really firmed that thing up. Let's see what it looks like. Can he run down? Well, a former champion in Steven Goldner, who there for a couple seasons kind of slipped off. He'd be the first to tell you that, but he'd love to answer the critics here, man. He'd love to come out week 1, win a heat race, start on the front row for tonight's feature. But we'll have to see here. Not going to be that easy, man, because the Desert Demon, he is close. He is inching closer. And Dino, he is using up every bit of racetrack. But Terry Landis, we got to go back up there. He took a peek, man. He went for a bite. The 161, what can he do here? Let's see here as he sends it. Does he go back in low? No, he's going to keep it right behind. And man, oh man, Goldner and Landis, white flag in the air. One more trip around. Steven Goldner, the 30 machine. Can he hold off the 161? Final time through 3 and 4. Car, slow car to the inside. Checkered flag waves. Steven Goldner wins heat race number 2, followed by Terry Landis, Dean Reynolds, and Keith Jackson. Devo, Cale Bixler, and Randy Shreves to the B main. Like it'll take a little bit here. I believe Randy possibly ran out of gas there. Was that slow car, so it doesn't like when cars don't pass the start-finish line, so it's waiting for him to complete the lap. And well, it'll eventually figure out that he's not going to complete the lap, and that eventually is right now. So let's take a look at the starting grid here for heat race number 3. Rounding out the field in the 99, the Dark Knight Gavin Chatham. Row 3 to the outside, the 78 of Jack Clevenger to the inside. Defending champion in the 39, the high side banger, Patrick Spangler. Row 2 to the outside, the Ross, the boss, Corinna. To the inside, the gentleman in the 217, Jack Hitt. Row 1 for heat race number 3 to the outside, the 814 of Brad Wade. And starting on the pole, the 87 of the general, Andy Patton. There we go. Those are the, see these, you know, it almost feels weird when the night's going clean and I haven't had to refresh that. But the other ones, man, the not found, boy, those are the scary ones. When I see the overlay, you know, just double stack like that, that almost, you know, reminds me of, you know, Mama's home cooking. That just makes me feel like I'm back at home. But that other one, that one gets a little bit scary. And we had 2 guys miss the grid here. Hopefully everything's good with the high side banger. Patrick Spangler, he's not on the grid, and kind of assumed we might not see the Dark Knight Gavin Chatham because, well, he didn't qualify. So no real surprise there if you've been paying attention, but hopefully all good there in the 39 camp. As man, oh man, now you guys, it stinks. I'm going to be watching this through your screen here because we will try to watch this as we go. But you guys are going to get I jinxed myself. I got the not found on my end, and, well, I came first the last time. And, looks like it's going to happen again this time. So, we'll see here, and, you know, sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles, but only 5 drivers here. Heat race number 3. 4 are going to make the show here, so 1 guy going to have to go to the B main. And the General Andy Patton wants to make sure it's not him, as he's got that Inferno Motorsports 87 beside his teammate there in the 814, Brad Waite. What can they do? Here's the green flags high. It's ready to fly. We're underway in heat race number 3. Andy Patton slides up in front of that teammate is in the 814. And he gets the high ground. That's where you want to be right now at the Knoxville Raceway. Unless maybe you're the boss here. Look at Ross Corinna. Slide job. He takes the lead coming off of 2. But Andy Patton sends it in deep into 3 and 4 as Ross cuts back underneath and give it to the boss at the line. Ross Corinna leads here with 6 laps to go. As Jack Hitt, he's got himself in that 4th and final transfer spot. Right now, Jack Clevenger, the man on the outside looking in, and, well, still no sign of the high side banger, Patrick Spangler. Maybe he'd, come in late to this heat race, but still not here. And, well, I keep trying to get my overlay to work, and it is still not working. So we're going to have to figure that out during warm-ups here. I'm I'm going to assume. But we roll around. We're going to get 3 to go this time here for the boss as he comes out of 4. And the battle, man, it is raging behind Jack Hit. Oh, he gets a slide job, comes across the nose of the 814. Brad Waite gives him a little love tap. He goes back underneath, and now Andy Patton, he's trying to get himself up into P3. Oh, the gentleman pulls a wheelie jacket after contact, and oh, man. I have no idea how we saw the wing teleport back on, how that thing is still driving straight. But Jack Hit right now finds himself in the B main after a big whoa there, but the white flag flies. There's one more lap to go. Final time through 3 and 4 is the boss. He could lift now. He's got this thing. He wins heat race number 3. Brad Wade, Andy Patton, and Jack Clevenger to the show. Jack Hit, Gavin Chatham, and I almost said Steven Spangler. Patrick Spangler to the B main. Now, this is where it gets a little interesting because I don't get my grid. I got to squint here and look at your guys's. Let's take a look here at the starting grid, row 3 for your 4th and final heat race. To the outside, 100 grand, Joseph Grandy. To the inside, the 71 of John Hine. Row 2 to the outside, the 29 of Steven Fernberg. To the inside, the 83 of Brandon Dittmer. Row 1 for your 4th and final heat race here in your Flatline Racing Bodies 360 sprint cars. To the outside, the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano. And starting on the pole, the 513 of the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker. Get ready to go here. One more trip around the racetrack, and I don't want to risk messing up the overlay for you guys. So like I say, I'll tweak with it here in warm-ups again. We'll have to see, man. Keep your eye on the Spider Monkey here. If he can keep this thing straight, get a good run here on the inside. Brandon Dittmer is one of those guys that could sneak this thing and steal a heat race win, so do not sleep on the driver of the 83. Steven Fernberg, we saw him in the Rebels race. Even after a spin, he was able to finish on the podium. So you know that guy's got speed. But the green flag's high. It's ready to fly. Heat race number 4 is underway. Brandon Dittmer on the inside here trying to make it work. But Anthony Morano, oh boy, he's letting that thing roar going into 3. And he's got the lead here, lap number 1, as he's got it across the stripe. Fernberg trying to hold firm on the outside here. What can he do? Is Dittmer trapped on the bottom? I may have gave him the commentator's curse here. Falls back to 5th now. He's on the outside looking in as 100 grand goes around. And now John Hine with a little slide job. They make a little contact. Dittmer gets in the outside wall. Man, oh man, Anthony Morano loving all of this going on in the rearview mirror. As Steven Fernberg trying to find a way around the 513. But the Brewerton Beast, man, he's got that thing planted. Jeff Barker right up against that cushion, looking smooth. And man, we got the 518 coming behind that. Oh, that Logan Wagner Zemco style scheme. I guess it's not Logan Wagner anymore. He doesn't run for them. No idea who is in that Zemco ride, but, well, they're a team that they run a lot up near Port Royal, so I see a lot of this here in Pennsylvania. Very neat scheme there for the 518 as he's battling hard with Fernberg. He's able to hold it off for now. But Steven, he won't let that go too easy. He's going to have to try to claw back, and with a lap and a half to go, you got to think Anthony Morano, a guy who's going to take the night off, not run any sprint cars, man. He's got to be feeling pretty good. He's the leader here with 1 lap to play. Anthony Morano rips the top going down the backstretch. Rails the cushion through 3 and 4. He sees the checkered flag in the air, and he brings it home. He's going to win heat race number 4, followed by Barker, Grandy, and Dittmer, Fernberg, and Hine to the B main. Let's see here. Let's try to do this one more time. Yeah, let's take a look at the starting grid. 11 cars. Not sure if we've got Gavin, but only 8 making it to the show, so 3 going home on your list. Gavin Chatham rounds out the field. Row 5 to the outside, the 56 of Randy Shreves to the inside, the 36 of Barry Goldner. Row 4 to the outside, the 71 of John Hine to the inside, the high side banger, Patrick Spangler. Row 3 to the outside, the 789 of Cale Bixler to the inside, the 127 of the Pink Panther, Jesse Atkinson. Row 2 to the outside, the 29 of Steven Fernberg to the inside, the 217 of the gentleman, Jack Hitt. Row 1 for your B main here at the Knoxville Raceway to the outside, the 05 of Devo, Donovan Ross. And starting on the pole, the 94 of Gary Offit. Only driver not here is Gavin Chatham in the 99. So 2 cars on the racetrack will be going home. So drivers going to have to fight for this one. Not going to be easy. You're going to have to make that thing wide, and you might have to get a little defensive. We'll see here. Well, now that they're 1 to green, I don't want to do it. I was gonna pull up Patrick Spangler, man, get his thoughts here real quick. You know, why he likes putting himself on the back foot if we're blaming the new child. I mean, there's so many angles he could use here. But as we roll off a 3 and 4 for the final time, we get ready to go play at the Knoxville Raceway. 10 laps to secure your spot in the show. Top ain't gonna make it. We're underway. Let's keep an eye on that 8th and final transfer spot. It moves over to the 71 of John Hine now is Patrick Spangler. He's stuck on the bottom. He finds himself. That's your defending champion. He just brought home the winner trophy, okay? He was the fastest we had, and right now he's on the outside looking in. He's going to go home if this thing ends right now, and I think John Hine, those guys, they're feeling the pressure. Oh, Jack Hitt! Oh, we saw him have a hiccup on the bottom. John Hine goes up and over. Barry Goldner drives away, but John Hine, Gary Offit, oh, that is going to be all she wrote for those two. Oh, no, Gary! Able to keep it down off the racetrack, but almost came up in front of the leaders. Boy, oh boy, that was a scare. And now, like I say, 8th place, the 36 of Barry Goldner. These are going to be it. They're going to be what makes it to the show. John Hine injured on the inside. He can't even get that thing down into pit road. As Donovan Ross leads the way here, he's got half a straightaway lead over the 789 of Cale Bixler. Fernberg working the lip here through 1 and 2, trying to inch closer to the 789, and he's got a little bit of a blinker behind him there, the 56 of Randy Shreves. So Randy's going to have to keep that in mind as he peeks to the middle here and makes a move. Don't want to blink in the middle of a slide job. That could get a little hairy. As the 56 of Randy Shreves doing a good job running that middle line. He doesn't want to be up against that cushion, it doesn't seem like, running that half a groove lower, and he's finding a lot of speed right now in that 56 of Randy Shreves. Smooth as silk, putting that thing to work. Patrick Spangler, he's got himself in the show here, but, you know, maybe he'd like to start a little better than where he's at as the 39 gets a run, dives down, and Patrick Spangler works himself around his teammate there, the Pink Panther, Jesse Atkinson, as Patrick Spangler moves on up to 5th. But Patrick Spangler playing games here, doing what he always does. Just setting up different passes, trying the race car, but Patrick, I finally caught you. As the checkered flag waves, final time, Devo brings it home. Your top 8 gonna be Donovan Ross, Randy Shreves, Cale Bixler, Steven Fernberg, Jack Hitt, Jesse Atkinson, Patrick Spangler, and Barry Goldner. Gary Offit, John Hine, and Gavin Chatham. Better luck next week as we're going to take a quick break here on the Coast to Coast Racing Network, and we'll be right back with your Flatline Racing Bodies A-Mains. Stick around. We're back live on the Coast to Coast Racing Network. My apologies about the black screen there. I had a light on behind me and the glare on my TV because, yes, I said TV. I made Patrick Spangler laugh the other day. I'm blind as a bat. I do not have my computer set up on a gaming monitor. I have it on a 52-inch flat screen TV. It's only a 60 hertz refresh rate. So you shine a light on that sucker, it'll give me a headache. So I had to go back there and click the lights off, but man, it gave the boys time. Blake Chapman quickest, Ross the Boss P2, and Patrick Spangler there third, Dino fourth, and Brad Waite your top 5 there to close out warm-ups. But man, it is that time. It is ready to go racing here. 35 laps at the Knoxville Raceway. Let's take a look at your starting grid. Row 12 to the outside, Barry Goldner to the inside, the high side banger, Patrick Spangler. Row 11 to the outside, the Pink Panther, Jesse Atkinson to the inside, the gentleman, Jack Hitt. Row 10 to the outside, Steven Fernberg to the inside, Cale Bixler. Row 9 to the outside, the 56 of Randy Shreves. To the inside, the 05 of Devo, Donovan Ross. Let's jump a couple more here. We can do better than that. Row 8 to the outside, the Spider Monkey Brandon Dittmer. To the inside, Jack Clevenger. Row 7 to the outside, Keith Jackson. To the inside, Bob DeGood. Row 6 to the top shelf, 100 grand, Joseph Grandy. To the inside, the General, Andy Patton. Row 5 to the outside, Dean Reynolds. To the inside, the Salesman, Blake Chapman. Row 4 to the outside, the Brewerton Beast, Jeff Barker. To the inside, Brad Waite. Row 3 on the top shelf, the Desert Demon, Old Smoky Terry Landis. To the inside, the Goose, Chad Cote. Row 2 to the outside, the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano. To the inside, Ross, the Boss, Corinna. Row 1 for your flatline racing bodies, 360 Renegade Sprint Car feature. To the outside, the 30, the Canadian Steven Goldner. And starting on the pole, the 042 of the Macho Man, Tyler Wilson. As we roll through 3 and 4 for the final time, the Steve King Foundation pace truck pulls off. The green flag is high. Boy, is she ready to fly. There's 35 laps to play in the clay at Knoxville Raceway. We're underway. The Macho Man trying to find some grip downstairs here as Steven Goldner's got a handful upstairs. Anthony Morano blinks out. He comes back, the Magic Man. He's in P3. Anthony Morano ripping the outside. Welcome to P2 at the line. Oh, it's getting chippy back here. Goldner to the outside. Keith Jackson tries to go to the inside. Almost 4 wide as Dean Reynolds rip in the middle. Barney got that 79 rolling. He goes up, hits the cushion. He tries to come back down. Oh, man. We are racing here in Knoxville. Keith Jackson working that inside. He gets into the 814 of Brad Waite. Brad holds on. But big winner out of that was Barney. Dean Reynolds with a run off that top shelf. Oh, the Goose gets into the outside wall. Oh, Dean Reynolds. Oh, he's stuck it in the middle. Oh, my gosh. This guy is ready to go. And here comes Keith Jackson back ready for more. Keith Jackson keeps ripping that inside, and he's going to have a lot of right rear left if he keeps doing that correctly. Keith Jackson, a lot of speed down there in the basement. Let's go back and take a look at our defending champion. Patrick Spangler, no luck at all in this 39 tonight. I have no idea if he has had some trouble. But man, oh man, this is not working out well. And somehow, some way, Anthony Morano got to the lead while all this was going on. And now Terry Landis up into the top 3. Oh, the Desert Demon trying to work around as Tyler Wilson cuts to the bottom. We are racing everywhere here at the Knoxville Raceway. Oh, Terry thinks about throwing a slide job in that Yoo-hoo machine, but didn't want to spill any milk. Kept it in the middle there is the Macho Man. He's going low, and Anthony Morano is leading the way here in the Renegade Sprint Cars. Steven Goldner to the outside. He drives around the 113 of Keith Jackson. He's got that 30 machine ripping now as Dean Reynolds, he's ready to play. He's railing in some of the boys in front. He says, come here, kitty, kitty, kitty. He is trying it. It's Terry Landis, oh so close as we ride under the front wing. No, we don't. We go and look at the TV view because I thought we were maybe going to get a slide job, but a little too deep. So Dino holds his breath and he goes back under for a little more, and we'll have to see the next time he dives down for some air. But right now, Ross Corinna, he's firmly in 3rd place. He got around Terry, and now he's inching closer to the Macho Man, Tyler Wilson. As Ross Corinna, he's seen 10 laps wipe away off the board. We got 25 to go here. Ripping that bumpy top shelf. Blake Chapman, he's a guy you always think about. Feature wins here at the Knoxville Raceway, but right now Blake's so marred with traffic that he's lost 2 spots since the opener of this race started. 9th, currently running 11th on the inside in that Galen's popcorn machine. Not having much luck going through the field. Another one, Stephen Goldner, remember he started 2nd back here to 9th. He had that rough start. Stephen Goldner just hasn't been able to really get it back together. We've seen him string a couple laps here and there, but there he makes contact with Blake. Hard into the outside wall, and we're under caution. He comes down as Blake's going up, and man, sometimes that's what happens when 2 objects meet in the middle. You can see he's trying to diamond off this corner. That's how sideways it is. Blake, actually, he doesn't come up at all. I mean, he absolutely holds that thing down there, but Goldner comes down, gets into the right rear of Blake Chapman, hard into the wall, and never too early to discuss this either. Now, Patrick Spangler won because of it last season. That thing does have a lot of damage on it, so he's got to come in and get a quick repair. So not as big of a story now, but we always talk about incident points, and I guarantee you that got Blake some incident points there. So I have to see, maybe they're a factor later in the year, or, you know, if it's something that he can shake off, not really worry about. But lights are still on the pace truck, so we're not getting ready to go back just yet. Let's see here. I've never done this to him before. But we're going to see how it goes. Patrick, you're live in the booth, man. You know, you missed that heat race grid, and you got to start in the back here. Saw you went down there and get that quick repair. Do we have enough time to get some spots back?
See, me and Blake are having a contest this season. See, he dropped to the back, too, so just a little friendly wager we got between each other. And, yeah, it's just me jumping the cushion, but hopefully, we'll see.
Okay, that makes sense. I was wondering why Blake... See, Patrick, you got to tell me this crap before you start, man. I could have built the anticipation, but see, you guys are getting ready to go back. I'll send you back home. Give him hell, guy.
Thank you.
Okay, so you just heard it there, man. You heard it right from the horse. They're going to drop to the back all year, so we're going to watch those guys play around. That is going to be a fun storyline for them this season, working their way through the field. As the green flag waves, we're back underway. Lap 21 is now in the books as the Ant-Man leads the way. Can he get back to that lead that he had? Or is this maybe exactly what guys like Ross and Dean Reynolds needed? Oh, Ross Corinna, big move. Almost gets into the leader there, but he completes the slide job. Dino joining the party. He's got the 79 on the podium. Man, oh man, Barney. Oh, he's ready to pounce. Caution flag waves. Oh, and I'm seeing maybe the goose involved. Ah, tough break for the 11. Not sure if it kicks off with him or not. It doesn't look like it. You see Cale Bixler there get a little sideways. He gets loose, bounces off the general, and nowhere for the goose to go. The gap just closes up. He goes up and over. Does he roll one more time? Almost. Spins around like a top. And the goose, man, he hurt the wing. Gonna have a tough time flying home from Knoxville. Now, all right, what do we do here? What do we do? I like bringing guys up. I really do. I don't know if they like it or not, but to be honest. Oh, excuse me. Let's see here. We got Tyler Wilson not in Discord. He's up towards the front. I'm trying to see if we got anybody there kind of towards the front. Yeah, you know what we do? No, you know what? This is what we're going to do. We're going to pull this man up here real quick. Blake, so I just got news about a friendly wager, man. When did you and Patrick decide we're going to start these things from the back?
It was the end of last season. It was actually his idea. I think one of his family members reached out to him saying that he should start in the back, and he asked me if I would do it with him. And, you know, it's hopefully a little bit more of a challenge for us. And, you know, it's been sketchy at times, but hopefully we can hang on to this thing.
Well, hey, man, I see you guys are one to go, so I won't keep you too long. I'll send you back here. Good luck the rest of the way, Blake.
Thanks, Shaggy.
As we find the kart racing team, Blake just sits here, waits for me to find it. There we go. Now I send him back home, make sure he's there. That one wasn't in alphabetical order for some reason, so I'm not taking the blame for that one. As the green flag's high, it's ready to fly. We're back underway. Lap 19 as we go racing. Dino to the top shelf, man. Oh, boy, he found all the cookies upstairs, and he's looking to bring them home with him. He goes down to the basement. He's looking to hog them all up through 3 and 4 as Randy Streams goes around. Big contact in 3 and 4, and we are going to have another caution. Oh, Jack Clevenger with nowhere to go. The gentleman Jack hit, and man, oh, man, what do they say? Cautions breed cautions, and that is exactly what we're seeing here at the Knoxville Raceway. So you saw there, we're going to rewind a little bit. Little contact there with the 161, and I believe, you know, sometimes, this is his first look, sometimes that guy on the up at the top thinks, you know, I want to enter in a little lower, but Terry's there. He's not forced to turn in early. He's holding his line. He doesn't float up. Randy kind of turns down just a little early, gets that thing suckered in the wall. And when he does finally get it out, it rips in that cushion, jumps around, and Jack Clevenger hold on in that 78. Nowhere he could go. See Jack hit. He was blinking a little bit, but he couldn't get up out of the way. When you're not under throttle on these sprint cars, you just don't understand how difficult they really are to turn. You need some power to maneuver these things around, to get that right rear to bite in, and it's really how you manipulate the car. You are steering the steering wheel, but you're driving the car just as much with that right foot as anything else. And somebody who seemed to have mastered that, this driver of the 32, I swear, if he wins this thing, he'll be happier than a hog. And you know what? Because, man, oh, man, he wasn't even going to run tonight. I'm telling you. He was going to take the night off after that small block race, and I went down there. They were all still hanging out in the interview room, the waiting room. I'm taking credit for this one. And I was trying to talk him and Brewer into coming out and playing. Brewer, he wouldn't budge. Morano, we got him to get off the couch, and he comes out here. He gets a win sticker in that Rebels race. And, man, if the rest of the field don't watch out, he's going to get another one here. He may sweep Knoxville. There's still going to be 17 laps to go when we do go green. So definitely plenty of time to play. But, man, with the pace this 32 has had, you got to think it's him against the racetrack right now. It's almost like he's golfing. You know, you're against the other racers, but you're basically, it's just you out there. You just got to do what you've been doing. And we're back underway, 17 to go. Anthony Morano, we're going to go on these static cameras here for a little bit. Blake Chapman, man, he's working that 20. Up in here to the top 5 after starting in the back of the pack. Blake Chapman, welcome to the top 5. The salesman cracking the egg here early. As Dean Reynolds, man, oh man. This guy's full of surprises. He's just found so much speed over these past couple seasons. Where has the 79 come from? In our wildest dreams, him and I dream of being able to follow guys like Ross Carina, Patrick Spangler, and he's not only doing that, man, he's beating them. He's got more speed. Go get him, Dino. Blake Chapman bringing along a friend here. Here comes Joseph Grandy in the 518. He started towards the back as well. Joseph Grandy He goes around the outside. He's got that 518 machine rolling. As Dino goes up, shuts the door in 1 and 2. He's got to try to find a little speed here if he wants to bring home the podium, because that 518, there he goes. He gets in the outside wall. Oh, Joseph Grandy. The wing magically reappears. A little bit of that internet code. But Joseph Grandy not going to be able to take too many more of those hits. And right now out front, man, it has been a quiet race for the Ant-Man. And that's how he wants it to stay. But I think the boss, he's got other ideas. He has cut the gap down to half a second. Ross Corinna, can he go up here? Can he make a move? As now Anthony opens up the gap through the bottom of 3 and 4. He gets another 10th. As soon as you think he's losing it, he gets it right back. And Dino, he is out here like Floyd Mayweather, just dancing, trying to hold on, playing defense. But Joseph Grandy, oh, Ross Corinna, he gets into the outside wall, and now Dean Reynolds, he looks down the basement. Slide job for second. Dean Reynolds shuts the door. Ross Corinna, Diamond's back underneath, and he's got it for now. But big time lead for the Ant-Man, Anthony Morano. He's pushing that thing 2 seconds now with these guys racing hard as Blake Chapman and Joseph Grandy enter the picture. Joseph Grandy takes a peek, looking for that third and final podium spot. What kind of move do we see out of the 518? He sends it in. Slide job. There was enough of a room. Dino tried to diamond down, but Blake Chapman, he was down there. He was in the cupboard. Oh, Blake, back down there in the cupboard. We're 3, almost 4 wide through 1 and 2. Blake Chapman trying to pick one off here from Dino in the late stages as we come off of 4. 6 laps to go for Anthony Morano, who just needs this thing to stay green. That is all he wants here. Dean Reynolds trying to fend off Blake Chapman now as the kid goes to the outside here trying to get some popcorn off the top shelf. And Dino says, no way, kid, that's my popcorn. I'm the one who ordered that for you. Ross Corinna, he's able to firm that second place back down after getting into the wall. But he's not going to have the time here if he doesn't get a caution flag to get back to the rear end here of the 32 of Anthony Morano. Blake Chapman works to the bottom here. He inches ahead of the 79 of Dean Reynolds as they enter 3 and 4. Him and Dean have put on some great races in the past, and we're in for another one here with 3 laps to go. Patrick Spangler, remember, he came in and used that quick repair. He just drove around the high side of the 161. Welcome to P7, the high side banger. He would love a late race caution. 2 fingers in the air, 2 more trips around. The Ant-Man, Anthony Morano, sailing it down the backstretch as the battle heats up behind. Joseph Grandy inches closer to the 10 of Ross Corinna, but the white flag flies. We've got 1 more trip around, and the man who wasn't sure, didn't know if he was going to race tonight in these sprint cars, maybe got egged on a little bit, made the best decision here, showed up, brings home the checkered flag in the Rebels race, and he wins a Renegade feature at the Knoxville Raceway. Congratulations to the 32 of Anthony Morano. Ross Corinna and Blake Chapman round out the podium as Joseph Grandy, Dean Reynolds, your top 5. But man, oh man, I'll tell you what, unbelievable, unfreaking believable for the 32 of Anthony Morano. Absolutely amazing, man. There is no way anybody picked this guy to come out here and win the feature at the start of this thing. And well, obviously, you know, you start up front, that towards the front, that helps. But I mean, especially before qualifying, the odds on this guy were through the roof. If you were lucky enough to get him at the pay window, you're leaving here with a lot of money. Congratulations to Anthony Morano, beating some absolute dogs out here at the Knoxville Raceway. We'll see if We can give these guys a minute or two here to catch their breath, and we'll try to pull up the salesman, Blake Chapman. And actually, before we pull up the salesman, Blake Chapman, let's see how the salesman, Blake Chapman, stole P3 at the line here. Now watch this. This is coming to the white flag. So Blake, he is this. I mean, you know, he had good car length in between. We'll see what Grandy does. We'll see if he maybe made a move for P2. He stayed pretty comfortable, but Blake hooked it up on the bottom. Just absolutely hooked it up. And he found some grip there that maybe you wish he would have knew about the lap before and stole P3. But Blake, man, after starting in the back to drive his way to the front, proved this is going to be a fun year for the 20 machine. See if we can get a word with him here. We pulled him up under race. Blake, you got a copy here?
Yeah, I got you.
I'll tell you what, man. I had to go back there. That's why you waited so long. I had to watch where you came from because I clicked on Anthony right as he crossed the start-finish line. And, you know, I was watching you guys battle the previous 4 or 5 laps. And, man, you were back there a little ways. I didn't think we stood a chance to steal P3. And that run you got off the bottom of 4, man, oh, man, did you know that was there?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I was getting my best runs really into 3. Coming off of 1 and 2, I really wasn't great in that corner. I couldn't run the middle like I wanted to. If I could, I think we would have been really, really fast. But, you know, I couldn't really figure it out in that corner all night. And I was just trying to hit the grip coming out of the corners, and I did. And I knew getting into 3 was the key. I could really get into 3 really, really well. I could make up a couple car lengths right then. And, you know, from there on out, it was just making sure I was hitting the bottom, not getting too high, not getting too low, and we hit it just perfect there on the last lap, and we're able to, you know, get third there at the line.
I mean, obviously you get a couple of them, but man, with those last 5 laps or so, how bad were we itching for a caution? Because with the speed this thing had, oh man, you were a couple maybe, you know, caution flag or 1 caution away from bringing home a checkered flag.
Yeah, honestly, cautions weren't really in my mind. I didn't know if this car was going to be fast enough to get up to the podium. It just seemed like it kept getting quicker as the race went on, especially those last couple laps. Either that or everyone was getting a little bit slower. But yeah, I really wasn't thinking about a caution too much. But you know, if we got one, maybe it wouldn't have worked out maybe in my favor. Maybe it would have worked out just right for me. So you know, either way, I'll take the result we had tonight.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you know, you and Patrick, that's awesome what you guys are doing, working your way from the back to the front. It is going to be fun as hell to watch every week, and I am looking forward to it, Blake. Great job, man. Congratulations on the P3. You got anybody you want to thank?
Oh, of course, I gotta thank my parents for watching. I gotta thank all the guys down at the Krite Sim Racing team. Gotta thank Terry for running with me tonight. Shout out to him on a really good finish. And I gotta thank Shorty. He got in a little late, but stuck around and spotted for us. So really appreciate him doing that. I gotta thank Preston at Epsilon Sprint Wraps and Andy at AJ Custom Creations. I gotta thank Flatline Racing Bodies for sponsoring the Renegades division. I got to thank everyone involved in the league for putting this thing on. And of course, I got to thank Galen's Gourmet Popcorn. You know, they got some of the best stuff out there. And when you're checking out, don't forget to use code CART, that's C-A-R-T at checkout, for 15% off some of their very delicious popcorn. And of course, I got to thank you for putting this show on, Shaggy.
Well, man, you know, I just get to talk about it. You guys put on the show, and driving from the back to the front, man, that's a big part of it. Great run tonight. Congratulations on the podium. Can't wait to talk to you again, kid.
Thanks, Shaggy.
Oh, wait, Blake. Oh, damn it. Yeah, there we go. I brought him back up. Blake, I missed it yesterday. Happy birthday, first off. How dare me? We're 20 years old now, right?
That's right, Shaggy. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Well, hey, man, happy birthday, kid. And, well, next year we'll send you a couple beers.
That sounds good, man. I appreciate it.
All right, there we go. Blake Chapman, P3. Man, I can't believe I almost forgot that birthday. That would have made me so mad. I thought about that all night, hoping he'd get the podium. Because I'm terrible with those Facebook birthdays. I don't ever see them till days later when somehow they pop up on my feed. And, well, Blake, happy birthday. As now we bring up the man who we call the boss, Ross Corinna. Man, dude, it seemed like for a while you had a quick race car. You were inching Anthony in, but you got in that outside wall a little bit. And from there, it kind of seemed like you were just kind of in preservation mode.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I was doing. Kind of actually the first couple laps, I think I biked it a couple times. I'm kind of surprised I didn't get you got wheel damage, from the spotter, but
I am
didn't get
too.
anything. So
I figured you did, honestly, because
yeah,
dude,
no, I
those were
didn't.
some big shots.
Right.
You even
I mean, I
biked
think
it up the one time. It was you pulled a
there's
nice
one time
wheelie.
one time I was looking at the ground. I'm like, well, this is not good, and so I can't use that as an excuse to not being able to catch Anthony there. No, but he he ran a good race. I was maybe would have had something for him, and maybe could have got ahead of him if I would have seen the Grandy. I think he ran the slider line a couple laps there, and it was quick. So I started doing that, and I think I started reeling Anthony in a little bit, and then the last 5-7 laps he was just hitting his marks and didn't have anything for him. So hats off to him for the win.
Yeah, and I mean, not that this makes it sting any less, but I mean, he's not going to be here every week, probably, Anthony. So Ross, I mean, pulling out this P2 at the end of the day, we know why we come here, man. We're championship racing, and a P2, man. You beating all the other Renegades drivers. Got to feel pretty good about starting the season off on this high of a note, right?
Yeah, it's well, I seem to do pretty well at Knoxville here. So when I saw his,
don't let him fool you. He seems to do pretty well everywhere in a sprint car.
Yeah.
Hey, I remember that incredible Rebels season. I'll never forget that thing. Winning every single race.
That was fun. I wish I could pull that off with Renegades, but there's too many good drivers here in this class. So, but hopefully I'm able to run a majority of the races and maybe compete for a championship this season. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, man, I'm hoping so, because that Phantom Motorsports number 10, dude, you were on rails tonight. You looked fast, and man, if we can show up all year, you're definitely going to be in that championship talk, and I'll be rooting for you, Ross. But before I kick you out of here, man, you got anybody you want to thank?
First and foremost, the Phantom Motorsports guys, M9 Performance for the setups, Velocity Race Designs. Hopefully we can keep throwing out some paints. You up in the booth and everybody at Coast to Coast. I'm not even sure who it is anymore.
I'm pretty sure it's Jack Hitt, man, taking on most of this. Jack, Jeff, and maybe Patrick Spangler a little bit. But,
well, hats off to those guys for keeping it going, and hopefully I get to talk to you sooner rather than later again.
Yeah, it'll be the next time you show up. I guarantee that, Ross. You're one of the best we have, man, and we're lucky to have you. Hell of a run tonight.
Thank you.
Ross Carina bringing home P2, and now we get to bring up the man who he had no idea he was going to be here. He can lie to us if he wants to, but Anthony, is this your first Renegade sprint car win, brother?
Actually, it is, sir.
Oh, man, dude, what a time to be alive. I'm telling you, I ratted you out. I said how I went in there and was begging Mike to come race, and you were like, well, maybe I can do it. We'll try to get in there. And Anthony, you show up for the B. You win that thing. And, man, in this A race, okay, you expect a little more competition. But if anything, let's be honest. This one may have been a little easier for you, man. Did we like the way the track aged, or what was the difference here?
The track you had to move around on the track. It wasn't all when the track's grippy. It's a lot more even for everybody. When it's slicked off, you got to actually work and know what you're doing. So that's how I'm gonna go with it. I was able to move around and use the track as it was slicked up, and I can move around. And man, the bottom in 3 and 4 was just so gripped up. I was able to hit down there, and I was telling Dean, and I got to give a big shout out to Dean. He told me what to do in the heat race because I was in no man's land. He's like, no, cut down, come out of 3, run the diamond, and you'll hit that grip strip right out there. I'm like, all right, sure. Worked out great. So, yeah. So, man, I was exciting. Man. I was so nervous. I was sweating bullets in here.
Dude, I guarantee it because, man, everybody out there listening, dude, they know enough by now. I'll tell you what, Anthony, this is the one I want more than anything. Okay, we all covet this win, man. You got guys like Steven Goldner, Blake Chapman, Patrick Spangler. I mean, hell, add Dino to that list now, man, how quick he is. And, dude, you took him to school. So, dude, how long we going to enjoy this one, man? You got to feel awesome.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I actually just jumped in that 410 race I was telling you about and got spanked in my heat race. Everyone walked away from me, so got some work to do there. But yeah, it's pretty awesome. I know Renegades, it's the cream of the crop for sprint cars and coast to coast. So to go out there and get out there and
no practice,
be able
not
to win
even knowing if you're going to do it or not. There's some other guys, let's be honest, that put some work into this thing this afternoon, okay? So you didn't do that either, which makes it all the more impressive, my man.
Yeah, the only thing I was thinking about tonight was actually just the 358 race, and that was it. I usually don't run the sprint cars, so I guess I'll have to come in around and play a little bit more and see how we can do now. And who knows? We'll see.
Yeah,
maybe
man.
go after a Rebels title, and I know I can't win both in the same
Yes,
season.
you
There's rules
can.
against that.
Are there rules now?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was told you can't win both, but
oh man,
I don't think I'll be able to keep up like Ross and Blake, and then you get Spangler back there.
You never know. I'm telling you,
those guys should be able to eat me up. So
I'm going to work for you. I'm going to work for you because that year it was 2 years ago when I won that C trophy I was telling you about. I lost the Rebels championship by 4 points. I almost won both. That season,
I don't know if you can win. I don't know if you can win Rebels and Renegades.
Well, I'm telling you, we're gonna. If you keep showing up every race and you keep spanking them, we're gonna change the rule. I'll make sure of it.
I just don't see me beating these guys. These guys are, they got a lot more seat time, a lot more skilled with these things. I'll give it a whirl, but not too sure I can hold my own with them. Bigger track like this, yeah, it's a lot momentum involved, but littler tracks, I'll probably get eaten alive.
Well, Anthony, you get in here, you knock one off. Congratulations. Well, as I choke on my own saliva, congratulations on your first win, brother. It was awesome to call it, and man, you did it in dominating fashion. You got anybody you want to thank before you go out there and try to run some 410s?
I got to thank my wife, Sherry, the boys over at FTM, Dean at Superior Car, Logan at Hamon Lens, Swan Speed Shop, DJ Sim Shop, Experimentation, Casper Flagstone, Shaggy TV, GripPack.com. Big shout out to Gavin. He actually sent me the setup. And Dean for helping me out there with the heat race, and just remind me to just hit my marks and don't be stupid, and just you got a good lead, just be conservative, run your lines. So that always helps out a lot. I don't even know who is this Flatline Racing Body sponsors this one. All right, so thanks them for sponsoring the division and everyone at Coast to Coast.
Well, hey man, hell of a job. I'm telling you. You caught yourself by surprise just as well as me, man. That was a hell of a run tonight. You earned this one. I can't wait to see you back, brother. Good job.
Thanks a lot, Shaggy.
We're going to kick him out of here. We'll let him go racing because, like I say, we had to entice him. He runs another league. It's awesome that he stayed around to do this. That was a great run for the Ant-Man and just an excellent way to cap off Flatline Racing Bodies Monday Night Madness. We had a great show. Sam Bachman wins the first one. Anthony Morano sweeps the next two. A night full of podiums for the driver of the 32. So as we kick off week one, make sure you hit that like button. You hit that subscribe button because you don't want to miss any of the races we have coming up here for the spring season. It is going to be one heck of a season. I'm Zach Chapman saying thank you on behalf of all the admins who make this thing go. And Roger, we miss you, brother. Hope all is well. I'm Zach Chapman with Shaggy TV, signing off. Have a good evening.